expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at solobeauty.com.
What's up, good people? If you didn't tune in to the last I Said What I Said, here's what you missed. Special thanks to Love McPherson.
And when you talk about object sex, you and objectifying that woman, you glorify pieces of her. And let me tell you something. If you think that doesn't matter, it does. And I'm going to tell you why it matters. I looked at a video and I was looking at these young boys, these teenagers, and they were like, do you like black women or white women? I like white women. I like white women. And first I felt some kind of way. Then you know what happened to me? I started listening to them and they said, why did you like the white women? Because they'll do anything for you. Yeah, the white hoes.
Bitch, you is a hoe. Bitch, you is a hoe.
And I thought pornography has elevated what the white woman will do for you, the objectifying of her. And this is why we don't realize, even in our spaces, the black man is shut down because he doesn't know the power of his seed like the white man knows the power of his seed.
Oh, look, just like milk.
He doesn't realize that you sit up there coming into my neighborhood, objectifying my white women because you say they do it better than your women is a problem. They don't do it to them, but they won't bring that out, and they will not allow you to do that to their women.
I said what I said. Herb 2, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Biggest threat to Illinois citizens from Washington is health care costs and policies. Senior citizens have their Social Security reduced from Medicaid, and some of our senior citizens live off $3 a week for food allowance. Working families are facing bankruptcy over policy and limit and cost. Drug prices require decision between food and Medicaid. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate.
Mike Love and Dizz.
It's another one.
Chicagofamous. Mike Love and Dizz.
Classic.
Chicagofamous. Chicagofamous. You're listening to Chicagofamous with Mike Love and Dizz.
Coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. Don't let nobody stop you.
Chicagofamous with Mike Love and Dizz. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Change is the law of life. If you believe in yourself, you will always find a way.
Chicagofamous with Mike Love and Dizz. Afternoons on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Chicagofamous.
Back at you once again on this Tuesday.
Hey.
Debate day.
Debate
we
day.
got all type of things lined up for you this afternoon. What's going on, Chicago? Glad you could join us. We're going to be holding you down all the way to 6 o'clock. And man, there's a lot going on today, isn't it?
A lot going on today, man.
Man.
I love, like, this. I've never been so excited for a debate. Never.
Me neither. This is must-watch TV tonight.
This
and
is
it's
like
funny because what are
sports.
people saying on your timelines?
They're like, they just can't wait to see the lies come out of Trump's mouth. You know, I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing the sisters, you know, because the sister. First of all, I got the all-girl timeline because I removed the guys many years ago.
All right.
I literally went through my timeline for months and unfollowed every guy in my timeline. I promise you. So the only people that come up in my timeline are you, Maze Jackson with his rabble-rousing ass, and like maybe one other, the guys from the other podcast that we went to visit.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's nothing but women, and they are. I don't know. They're kind of torn. Of course, they all hate Trump. They hate Trump. So they're just looking forward to the lies tonight. What about your time?
It's interesting because a lot of people on my timeline don't even want to watch it. They're like, I ain't watching that. I ain't watching that. And what do I always say? I'm like, look, you know, keep an eye on your enemies. Keep an eye on crazy. I do. I'm like, yo, I got to watch this. You're talking about the leader of the free world here. I mean, if it doesn't affect you, maybe it affects your kids down the line, but you need to be informed at all costs. And everything that is said tonight, whether it's Joe Biden saying it or it's Donald Trump saying it, you need to research it so you can make a right decision come Election Day. And not just for the president, but for everybody else involved in this, congressmen, senators, all that, local elections as well. But you have to find a way to become informed. But the more I look at this is like shaping up to be a Walmart fight.
A Walmart?
Yeah. It's like,
What's wrong with you?
No, I'm serious.
A Walmart
It's
fight?
a Walmart fight, okay? It's like, okay, picture Joe Biden like trying to get out of parking space in Walmart. And he's Grandpa Joe. And he's that dude who's taking all day to get out
stay on this Grandpa Joe thing.
He's taking all day to get out the parking space.
All right.
And Donald Trump is that dude that wants to hurry up to get into Walmart to get what he wants to get. So he's behind him and he's beeping his horn. And Joe's looking over his shoulder and he creeps out a little bit more. And then he pulls in and he creeps out. And then finally Donald Trump gets mad, jumps out of his car, starts yelling at Joe. Then Joe gets out the car and he starts yelling. And then Walmart security has to come out there and break it up. Two old white guys fighting in the Walmart parking lot. That's what it's going to look like tonight.
Wow.
There it is.
So what are you expecting? What are you most looking forward to?
I just think Donald Trump is going to treat this like a carnival. I just think he knows that Joe has to be spot on. Mm-hmm. And if he rattles him and gets Joe kind of like off balance, like starts throwing crazy stuff out there, then he's just going to go for the kill shot. Then he's just going to just make it, like you say, a shit show.
I think that I'm expecting it to be a little bit more professional. I know that because Donald Trump is not a politician, that he tends to just kind of fly by the seat of his pants and do what he wants to do, how he wants to do it. But I expect him to be a little bit more, I don't want to say presidential because he's never really been that. But I don't know. I don't expect him to be on the attack the whole time because I think that Biden has to be on the attack. He has to attack his taxes. He has to attack his, COVID.
Yeah, I
being
see.
what
The taxes
it
is the big thing now.
That's what the women on my timeline care about.
I don't. I honestly
Really?
don't. I really don't. I
Really?
could care less about somebody's taxes. We got bigger. That's your problem. Donald Trump's taxes, that's his problem. That's
Right.
not my problem right now. The issues that I want to talk about are health care and police brutality and all that type of stuff. Like, I don't give a damn about this dude's taxes. First of all, everybody's like, yeah, he's $422 million in debt. Well, keep in mind, before he was president, he was a businessman.
Right.
So he probably made bad business deals like most business people do. And, and $421 million to somebody that has millions and millions and close to billions of dollars is not like when we have $421 million in debt.
Right.
So I could have 421. I get a creditor call me for $421, and I'm in a panic.
Hey, man.
I'm just saying.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, the whole tax thing, like, here we go. We're going to go back on that again, right? We tried that with the whole Hillary thing. It didn't work. We're going to put that back up again. And
Don't forget the impeachment. We
tired of them wasting time rehashing shit on this dude that he has just become bulletproof to. Like, he just laughs it off every time. Every time the Dems pull that out of their pocket, he just throws it back in their face and laughs it off. It was like, you need to get a new game. You needed to get a new game plan.
Right.
If you gonna go attack that dude, go find something new because bringing up old shit just ain't gonna work no more because he didn't already figured out the keys to that lock.
I mean, nothing works. Nothing works. Before he got in office, they used his abuse on women, his words, his actual words. Grabbing women by the pussy. That was the big catchphrase. He not only was unscathed, but Billy Bush lost his job for chuckling along with him. Like, how does the guy that didn't say the shit lose his job and there was no problem with the man is untouchable. The man is unscatable. Every time something comes out. I just
don't think they've hit that guy the right way. Like I said,
no
you got to be strategic when you do things. And they keep hashing up the same old things, going after him. Oh, let's bring up Russia again.
Right.
Oh, let's bring up this. Stop.
All right,
it's not working.
So what would you do? What's your plan? What's the Dizz's plan? What do you got in the chamber for Donald Trump?
Like, man. Okay, once again, that's a deep dive on that.
Yeah, see?
Because you got to put it together. That's not something you can just roll off the top of the head. But I would probably feel a little better if anybody else was on stage debating against him than Grandpa. I love Grandpa. Right. We love Grandpa. But, man, I don't want Grandpa in this fight. I don't want him to get up there and be like, you see, like, oh, no. Because that's the type of stuff that gets Trump and his cronies just pumped, and then they just go for kill shots all over the place. Act crazy, call them names, get rude,
That's the reason why these the people that are running, that's why they're chosen, I believe. I don't believe in the, here's my conspiracy. Remember yesterday's question?
Conspiracies.
Like, what's the conspiracy theory that you believe? The conspiracy theory that I believe, and, I have no proof on this except that I watched Zeitgeist. And Zeitgeist told me everything I need to know about the world. Zeitgeist Part 1 and Part 2. It's a video, and sometimes it's on Netflix, and it's definitely on YouTube. You can check it out. So the thing that I believe about our government is that no one is elected, everyone is appointed. That someone somewhere, you got a prop for me?
I'm trying to make sure that we stay on the air because, we started talking conspiracy yesterday and our audio went out on us. And you started talking about the government. They're hearing everything that we say. They're going to be in our Facebook feed. All of a sudden, we're going to be cut off the air. So I'm just checking.
So from Bush, in 2000 with that whole shit show with the Florida votes, to Bush in 2004, to Obama going from a complete unknown in 2004 to the president in 2008, to Obama's reelection, to the same people that voted for Obama in 2008 are hating him by 2016. Like, absolutely hate, like visceral hate. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, that shows appointment. So I feel like, so all the way to our guy now, Trump. I believe that some of the votes, I believe that the voting system is real, but in some cases they may, and again, if you read this in the comments like Mike Love's an idiot, that's fine. I'm okay with being an idiot. It's just what I think and what I believe. So I believe that in certain swing states, they make those votes kind of go for that person that they want in the office. I mean, you had Barack Obama in 2008 win in a landslide, and it's like you literally believe that as a nation that white people like black people so much that they voted for a black man.
We all came back together. Right. Things were great. The kumbaya moment was in effect. Then all of a sudden, kaboom!
8 years later, 12 years later, the country is in racial turmoil.
Right. Klan Appreciation Day. Right. It was like, man, what the hell happened?
Nothing happened because it was all fake. It was all fake, and the media, to me, kind of hides everything, and it shows you what you want to see. So it shows you Obama and everyone loving Obama.
Going back to The Social Dilemma on Netflix. Again, if you have not seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix, that's a must-watch.
Must-watch.
It'll make you think about your social media and how the way media is translated to us every day. It'll blow your mind. Trust me. Check it out.
That thing you were talking about this. Like, remember, it was all about Bernie.
Right. It was all about Bernie Sanders. And in a matter of like 3 weeks. I mean, I remember watching the Democratic debate, and like Biden was like 5 on that list.
Exactly.
Like, nobody was paying no attention to this dude. Nobody wanted to hear what he had to say. And then within like a month, it was like, boom.
He was number one.
Number one. Here he is.
Out of nowhere.
I was just like, how the hell did that happen?
Like, all of a sudden, we was like, no.
All of a sudden. So, yeah, think about that. Because, yeah, I remember watching that debate.
So that's why I say, so now you got, Joe Biden, damn near in an election that it's like people are hoping and praying Democrats, people that are pulling for the Democratic ticket. Let's be clear. There is no one voting Democratic that truly believes in Joe Biden. And if you do,
agreed.
I want to see you say it in the comments. If you truly not, you hate Trump, because people hate LeBron, so they're cheering. And that's what Jason Goff said there yesterday. Mm-hmm. He's like, are you cheering for Miami because you hate LeBron? No, I think Miami's the better team. I think they're going to win. people hate Trump so much that they're like, whatever, I don't care. Put a fucking French poodle in there and I'll vote for him. A French poodle and the AKA, fine. Nobody believes in Joe Biden for president. He's just not Trump. So anything but Trump. So
honestly,
when
I
those
think
Bernie
Bernie Sanders had a better shot at it. At least he grew his campaign organically.
The people that fuck with Bernie. Like, that's why the whole shit is like, what the fuck happened? Like, Bernie Sanders, like Kayla's mom, my daughter Kayla, her mom works in the political realm. She's always out, on the Democratic tip, working to get voters and get people to get out and vote for certain candidates. And she worked she was working for Bernie's campaign.
Okay.
And after Bernie was officially eliminated and it became about Joe Biden, they were like, so, how about you come work for Joe? We'll give you and they were like, we need people like you that don't believe in Joe Biden, because her view on Joe Biden, even though she works for the Biden campaign, has not changed. She still don't fuck with dude. She still doesn't think that he's a good choice for president. But you got to pay the bills. You got to keep a roof over your fucking head. What are you gonna do? So it just feels like I was saying the same thing about Trump. I never thought Trump was going to be president. I thought that they were putting Trump up against Hillary Clinton, so Hillary could walk in, and as it turned out, they end up appointing Trump.
Jokes on them with that one.
Yeah.
Because the whole time they were telling us, oh, Trump's behind here, Trump's behind here. The whole world just knew there's no way Trump could win. And all of a sudden they woke up the next day like, he fucking won? Trump is the president? Like, no, no. Like, there he is. So now that Crazy then got into office, it's like, oh, no, what do we do? So let's hurry up and get him out so he won't be there for 4 years. So let's bring up Russia. Let's bring up this. And none of that shit worked. He just got bulletproof and hung in there the entire 4 years. And if things don't go like they're supposed to go, he'll be in there for another 4 years.
And the reason why, another conspiracy, another Mike Love. Y'all, I'm just a crazy guy today. So the other conspiracy is the media is complicit. For as much as Trump is fake news, the media works hand in hand, not only with getting him elected, meaning putting him out there. Like, remember when he was running in 2016 or 2015, whenever they're actually running, nobody got more free press than Donald Trump. Every time he said something crazy or whatever, it was out there in front of everybody.
Yep.
Every single thing he did and said, he had a nickname for everybody. He was always the front runner. They put Donald Trump in everybody's face, and he became the guy. Same. So fast forward 4 years later, here we are, 2020. Anytime you see something happen with Trump, like something negative, like the taxes or whatever happened 2 weeks ago or 2 weeks before that, it's always an issue for about 3 or 4 days, and then it's gone. In the history of presidents, you've never seen a person be so into shit where shit just disappeared. Like, when Clinton was president, they talked about that motherfucker and Monica Lewinsky until he got out of office.
Correct.
And never stopped talking about it. Black folks have always said Barack Obama, he can't fuck up because the press will never let him forget. They won't stop riding him. The thing about Trump is the press is complicit. He does some shit. It's big shit for a couple of days, and then we move on to the next distraction. So, perfect example is the coronavirus shit with when he talked to Bernstein, the guy that wrote the book, and he told the guy, he was like, yeah, I knew the coronavirus was more serious than I let on, but I didn't want to worry the people.
And as major as that was, that disappeared in 3 days.
Exactly.
In 3 days, that was gone.
All that has been happening for the last 4 years. The press is complicit with everything Trump does. The press can allow some shit to stay, whether it's Kim Fox, whether it's Jussie Smollett. That shit's still in the news. Breonna Taylor, shit is still in the news, but that's also the pressure from the people as well. Like the people in in Louisville, and we'll get to that when we get to headlines.
Mm-hmm.
The people in Louisville are like, no, we're not letting this shit do. They were like, all right, that's it. $12 million for the family.
And let's move on to something else.
Right.
They're like, no, slow down, homie.
He was like, hey,
Right.
No charges. Well, okay, some charges against that guy, but only because he shot in the wall. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. All right.
And they thought the people was going to walk off the lawn.
People was like,
They was like, nope, I'm still here. You haven't answered my question yet.
Right.
I still need answers.
Right.
And good for them. Because, they need answers. Because
Right.
that's what will happen a lot of times. They'll come up with a quick solution, sweep it under the rug, and then it'll go away.
And normally it does, but folks is like, so again, is that the press as well being complicit? I think the press is complicit in anything that stays in our view. So coronavirus, they keep coronavirus in our view. It's like, we just want you to be aware that, when you step outside the crib, you might die. It could be fatal. You want to go back to school, you want to play sports, you want to be back in school, you want to go back to bars and clubs and restaurants.
But, I mean, you think of how media has evolved over the years. I mean, when we were growing up, we had to sit and wait for the 9 o'clock or the 10 o'clock news, 2, 5, 7, 9, whatever, 32. That's how it worked. Now everybody's got the news on them 24/7.
True.
You got your smartphone, you got your laptop, you got your tablet. Wherever you're at, there is a media device near you. If you're sitting on the metro coming home, you wake up in the morning, 90% of the Americans wake up in the morning, will look at their phone before they brush their teeth. That's just how powerful this whole media device thing is. And they will click on Facebook or Twitter or CNN or whatever it is. Whatever something does a notification, they will look at that immediately. And because of that, that has allowed the media to manipulate the minds of people because they're like, yo, okay, we got all these folks. They're depending on these devices. That's why sometimes you have to unplug. In order to make a sound decision, sometimes you have to unplug because if you don't, you'll just be scatterbrained all the time.
Absolutely. And you definitely do not want that because, I mean, it's funny piggybacking what you're saying. Like, I'm literally in the bed now. It's like you talk about showering and brushing my teeth is the last thing I do. Like I used to be like, you get up, that's the first thing you do, go to the bathroom, shower, and shave is what my mother she used to say that. I mean, and my mother didn't shave. Like, go figure.
Before she was fighting with Auntie Barbara Ann.
Mom's was super peaceful for a Leo.
Until Barbara Ann showed up.
Right. The thing I didn't say in that story, and I told you this off air, but I'm telling people in case you listened to Chicagofamous yesterday, and I told the grand story of my mother who had beef with her oldest sister, my aunt Bob Brand, not Barbara Ann, Bob Brand, Aunt Bob Brand, and my mama was Sandy Gale, not Sandra Gale, Sandy Gale. So she had beef, but I forgot why she had beef because her sister Barbara Ann stole her boyfriend.
Oh,
when she
I should have known. I should have known.
Her
Boyfriend
man.
or money, it had to be one or the other.
Stole her man, but here's my thing. How you going to have beef 50 years later? Come on, fam. 60 years? Let that shit go.
Hey, she got that next lifetime list, I guess, huh? All right, if you haven't checked out that entire story, go back and rewatch Chicagofamous yesterday on YouTube or on Facebook Live. And it's the last hour of the show, so it's the third o'clock. It's the third o'clock. The third hour. The third hour in the show, 5:30 is when we kick that whole thing off. So Mike was talking about his mama. I was talking about my auntie. So yeah, it was Mike's mama versus my auntie, and it was a really funny 20-minute segment. You got to check it out. Leave your comments on it, and it was a lot of fun. But that's what we do here from Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. We just have a lot of fun, hang out with y'all, talk headlines, talk politics, talk sports, talk back in the day. That's what we do. So share the video. We shout you out. Don't forget, hit the stars today. I see the stars is back on the bottom, so that's good because we didn't have that yesterday. So make sure you hit those stars out there. And everybody checking us out on YouTube, we appreciate the love as well.
It's Chicagofamous, Mike Love and Dizz on the What's In It for the Black People Media Network.
WIFTBPM. Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
When you need vibrant, colorful gear that offers high-performance material that keeps you cool, call Agent Huff Custom Gear. Let us take your expressions and create something new for your everyday wear, your bedroom, or bath. For all your needs, we offer custom sublimation, silkscreen, vinyl, and embroidery. You can reach us on all things social at Superhero Huff. www.superherohuff.com or 630-476-9191.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Are you curious to explore the intellectual currents that channel our thoughts and frame our reality? Have you ever meditated for relaxation and accidentally discovered the universe in the process? These matters and many more you may never have even thought of will be yours to explore as you come with me into Muwak Hill's world. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1. Right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Hey, what's good? This is Mike Love.
Hey, what's up? It's Dizz, and if you already get y'all trip on, we got something for you.
Chicagofamous. 3 to 6, Monday through Friday on What's in It for the Black People Media.
If you've been a fan of our podcast, Chicagofamous, now you get to see us live Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. We are going to be off the chain.
Make sure you check us out.
WIFTVPN.
In all my years of radio, I've never seen anything like this.
You're listening to Chicagofamous with Mike Love and Dizz. So hit it.
Hey, yo, Dizzy. Gillespie plays
the sax.
Chicagofamous. I'm out of breath, man.
Yeah, because you just sprinted down the hallway. Dude, you're 54. You
hallway,
can't sprint down the hallway like you used to.
Down the hallway, out the door, across the parking lot to the car. In my Chicagoan voice, the car.
The car.
To the car and back, upstairs, ran up the stairs. Whew. Yeah, I gotta start walking.
All right, well, check this out. Got a shout out to my Chicago White Sox that are up 3-1 in Oakland right now. So yeah, you know I got to represent the squad.
What inning?
I don't know inning. I thought it was fourth, maybe fourth or fifth inning, somewhere
3-1.
around there. But we're up 3-0. So far so good.
3-0 or 3-1?
3-0.
3-0. Okay.
Yeah, 3-0. So that's how we're rolling. So we keep this moving.
Hold on.
That's what we do.
That's a best of 3, right? Or best of 5?
Best of 5.
Best of 5, best 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I mean, man, if they can still win in Oakland, that'd be nice.
Seriously, because Oakland has not been nice to Chicago teams at all.
No, ever.
So, yeah, if they can pull that one out, that's a good thing.
They were the team that kind of started the whole analytics thing.
With Moneyball.
Moneyball.
Good movie. Good sports movie.
Yeah,
Get a chance to check that out.
I read the book as well.
Mm-hmm.
So good luck to the White Sox on that. So, all right.
Got your breath? Are you good?
I think so.
All right. Let's roll.
All right. So we're talking about Trump. Top of the hour, 4 o'clock. We have a young lady stopping by who is a Trump supporter. We are going to interview her.
I can't wait.
And not only is she a Trump supporter, but she is not. She is unlike any Trump supporter you have ever heard. Other than the fact that she, supports Trump. She is not Candace Owens, and she is not
Star and Diamond or
Diamond and Silk,
whatever.
She's not
Right.
that. She's neither one of those things. She is her own unique entity. Her name is P Rae, and she'll be stopping by Chicagofamous at about 4:00. So, very interesting perspective coming your way, and you may not be a supporter of Donald Trump. We on Chicagofamous are neutral. We don't give a fuck about either, to be honest, one way or the other.
There you go. I'm just want to sit back and hear what she has to say. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, she's got a video, so we're going to start out with the video, and then we're going to go to her. But she has some really interesting perspectives. And
yes, she is black.
Yeah,
and she's from the west side of Chicago.
Yeah,
and she's 30 years old.
Yeah.
So she's young on top of that.
Right, right.
It's not like some old 60-year-old white guy we're bringing in here. We're bringing a 30-year-old black woman from the west side of Chicago.
West
Shout out to Madison Pulaski, K-Town. What's happening?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah, she's from the west side for real. Not near west side, not West Loop. She's from Austin.
Okay.
So if I'm not mistaken, but we'll find out when she gets in. All right, so man, where do we start? So much going on in the city of Chicago. Biden and Harris decided to drop their tax returns. They
Again, I don't give a damn about nobody's taxes. First of all, any homeowner out there will know we don't give a damn about nobody else's taxes but our own.
Right.
Property taxes, all that, yeah. Especially you live in Cook County. I mean, I understand the whole thing. Well, we're showing our taxes, so let's see your taxes. How much money do you need to give back to the people? Blah blah blah. Okay,
right.
That nip in the bucket is nothing compared to what some of us have to pay out of our own pocket for our own taxes.
Exactly.
So once again, another war that you decide to fight that you've already been down that lane already, and it didn't mean anything. I don't care. I wouldn't care if Obama did. If he show his taxes. If he did, he did. If he didn't, I still don't care.
There's actually an Obama
less.
graph that shows that he paid higher taxes, and people on my timeline are calling that racist because he paid more taxes than any president in the last since Ronald Reagan. I'm like, well, shit.
That's all right. He'll write off the library when it comes along. So
he's gonna rich. Right. So back to Joe Biden's taxes. He and his wife earned $944,000 and paid almost $300,000 in total taxes.
Okay.
Biden listed his occupation as executive. His wife wrote in she was a teacher. Kamala Harris and her husband Doug earned a whopping $3 million in taxable income and paid a little over a third of that, $1.185 million in taxes at a rate of 39%, 40% taxes. So it looks like they're getting taxed at the higher rate there.
Mm-hmm.
They owed $432,000 in taxes, and the Bidens got a $46,000 refund.
Man, don't let that fool you. The rich stay rich for a reason.
Exactly.
That's because they play by rules that we can't even fathom. Like, we aren't in that bracket. We don't play with millions, so we don't know. There's all type of places where you can stash stuff and rearrange stuff and write stuff off and put stuff here and put stuff there. So yeah, Trump is the perfect example of that. And that dude's got monies all over the place.
Right.
And again, he plays on a different plane than the average us play with. So,
plus, he's in real estate. And real estate is a whole different animal. I was hearing that, with deferments and deferred loans and deferred payments and the fact that you can just kind of keep flipping things over, it's like so often you end up never paying. Trump is not the only person that's never paid taxes. I mean, Amazon famously hasn't paid any taxes as well.
Talk about that. Talk about that. The Amazons that will go up in like some of the poorest neighborhoods, and their whole thing is, look, we'll put your entire neighborhood to work. Your whole family will have jobs. We provide benefits, all this stuff. But their money is not going back into the community as far as the taxes go.
No.
Because they get them tax breaks all the time.
Yeah.
And Amazon isn't the only one. I mean, a lot of these, especially a lot of these suburbs, man, they make these deals to get these corporations to come into their town, or they'll tell them, look, we'll give you 5 years tax-free. And then the store or whatever stays there for 4 years, then they pull out. And it's like, okay, well, we're not getting taxed anyway. So, I mean, it's all bad business.
And that's why Amazon didn't go to New York, because New York, the state of New York, they were like, no, we're not really trying to give y'all that super, super large tax break that y'all looking for. And Amazon was like, all right, we'll take because they were doing the hubs. They were doing not the hubs like how we see them. They were doing like the big, because remember they were looking at Chicago and different cities as like the hub number 2. And I remember they were looking at New York. And New York was like, nah, we don't want to not tax you at all. And it was like, fine, we'll take it somewhere else. And it was like, fine, take your shit somewhere else then. All right. Okay.
I mean, there's all type of business out there people just really don't know about. I was watching this documentary on Detroit about a month ago, and they were talking about how Detroit's got all these abandoned properties, I mean, from factories to just regular single-family homes. And they're talking about how people from, like, Spain and other countries are coming into the United States and buying up these properties. And then they'll make them over, redo them, and then they'll like bring the American business into that building, but they own the property.
Right.
So the money goes back to Spain or it goes back to Switzerland. It doesn't go to Detroit. No. It was like, so, I mean, the whole thing is crazy. Like I said, you have to take the time to deep dive and realize what's going on around you. Just don't look on the outside. You got to go underneath sometimes and realize, wow, people got plans out there.
They do.
And the rich play by a different set of rules, man. I'm telling you. And like I said, at the end of the day, this will go far from being a black, white, brown issue to a rich, poor issue.
Man.
There'll be the rich people and the poor people. Justin Timberlake did a movie called In Time. If you have never seen that movie, that's a good movie to watch. But basically, it's like that. It's basically time becomes the greatest factor.
I remember that.
And it's a class thing. You have upper class, you have the lower class. And if you get more time, then you get to move into the upper class. If not, you got to stay down here. But that's where this is going at the end of the day.
You mean time to live?
Yeah, time to live. Like you could actually buy credits. Like you'd have like the smart watch on, like people have on today.
Right.
And like it would monitor you, and you'd have 3-4 years in there. And then if every time you did a job, you would get, instead of getting paid, you would get more time added to your thing.
To live.
And of course, you could always trade time if you want to get a house or you want to get a new car.
Oh wow.
Okay, that'd cost you 6 months. So you could do that if you wanted to. But I mean, it was a real crazy concept at the time.
That is
When
interesting.
you fast forward now, look at the Running Man, right? I mean, that
Right.
was nuts when that came out back in the 80s.
And now look at it.
And now today, it is what it is. So, I mean, it's crazy. But it all starts with, ownership. Owning your own house, owning your communities, owning the things around you, the businesses, starts there.
All right, ask Diz if you could have a 2020 do-over.
Oh, no, do the second one.
You want to do the second one?
Do the second one.
Oh, I was, I put it there.
Do the second one. Because honestly, I don't have an answer for the 2020 do-over because nothing really happened. It was like, for me, it was like, okay, my job stayed the same.
Right.
Everything kind of rolled. It was like, all right.
I mean, I always have 2 questions ready for Ask Diz. So today's Ask Diz, and I'm glad that you're opening up.
Oh, wow. I'm glad you're opening up, dude. Like I said, I learned more about this dude in the last few months than I did working with him for 12 years.
No,
so.
his woman is listening. And this is like your woman is listening.
Felicia Applebaum is always listening, so that's
what up,
no big
Felicia?
deal. That's no big deal.
All right, today's Ask Diz, why do you still think about her?
Okay, and I guess when you say her, you are talking about a relationship, ex-girlfriend or something like that?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, there's 2
I
things
saw
here.
that question and I was like, that's a good one, because men are always thinking about that old thing. They want that old thing back. All right, so take it away.
Not necessarily. But with that said, okay, I was married. I'm not married anymore.
Right.
Do I think about my ex-wife? Sure I do. Hey, at one time, I thought about her so much that I put a ring on her finger. So I'm not going to sit here today and be like, I'm never going to think about her again. She's the mother of my child.
That too.
So, yeah, my child is with her. They're out on the West Coast. Yeah, I want to make sure that my child is being taken care of and she's doing what she has to do. And if she's in good spirits, that means my kid will probably be in good spirits. We don't talk. We don't communicate.
Really?
But, do I think about her? Sure, because, again, you just can't write off a relationship like it never existed. Like I said, when people want to get mad and be like, I got a divorce, I don't ever want to think about that person again, there was one point in your life where you were so in love with that person that you were willing to spend your entire rest of your life with them.
Right.
And you just can't delete that and act like that did not exist. Even if stuff went south, it didn't work. That happens. Sometimes it's their fault. Sometimes it's your fault. Sometimes both of you are at fault. But for whatever reason, it didn't work out.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you just have to be a bitch about it, or you just can be like, oh, I'm just going to erase them completely out of my life. You know, you don't wish ill will. Be like, hey, it just didn't work. We just agree to disagree. You go your way. I hope your life is good. I'll go my way. I hope my life is good. And if we meet, it's like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? So
I think women do. I think women do it all the time. That's why I think that guys love deeper or maybe different than women, because women, you know, once a woman gets a guy out of her system, he's done. She don't think about him anymore.
So one thing that I did coming out of my depression, and this was interesting, because I thought about all the stuff that I did and things that I had messed up on.
Sure.
And I thought about people that I was with, and there were like maybe 3, I would say there was 4, because I got to go way back. So there was like 4 women in my life that I was really digging on. We were together, and it didn't work out.
Okay.
And you know, for whatever reason, the way it ended was like, fuck you, whatever. You know, move on about
like
your
they all
business,
do.
whatever. Like they usually do.
Gee.
I actually took time out to get in contact with each one of them.
Really?
And let them know what I thought. And basically,
after your
long
depression.
after it was long gone. I
Okay,
mean,
good.
you know, so like the first woman that I was engaged to, the one that was doing patrol at the club, like, you know, I let her know. I'm like, you know what? I know things didn't go right for us, and I apologize for all the stuff that I may have did, because that situation was kind of, when I look back at that situation, there was a lot of stuff that if I had to do that over, I would do a whole lot different.
Okay.
For one, I took her out of her element and brought her into mine just because, not thinking that, you know what, she's not used to Chicago. She's not used to the South Suburbs. She's not used to all this entertainment and wild people. And I'm just like, hey, just come on along and deal with it.
What was she used to?
Well, she had grew up out in Aurora. And when we decided to go buy a house together, instead of me and her sitting down together trying to figure out an area that would be kind of neutral, because it was like, okay, her family's in Aurora, and my family's out in Park Forest. That's 80 miles apiece.
Okay.
I just said, okay, I'm making the money. You coming out to the South Suburbs. So I brought her all the way out to the South Suburbs.
Sounds fair to me.
But when I brought her out there, I took her away from her family and
Fair
her
enough.
friends, and she couldn't adjust. She didn't like it. She was irritated, and she missed those things. And maybe if I would have picked a neutral city, like maybe a Bolingbrook that was kind of in between, you know, Aurora and Park Forest, maybe things would have been better. But that wasn't fair of me to just say, hey, you coming this way.
Fuck fair.
But again, I had the money, and I was like, look, I like the house. This is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And that was wrong. And I look back at that today as a 50-year-old grown man, and I'm like, I wouldn't do that again. That was totally unfair of me.
Look at you.
I dated another woman who always lived in an apartment. She's from the city.
All right.
Lived in the hood. That's how it was.
Right.
Moved her out to the suburbs. Oh my God. Blew her mind. She just couldn't cope. Like
Cope with the suburbs? What do you mean?
She just, it was too quiet.
Okay.
It was too dark. It was far, because you know people in the city think that anything past 127th Street, anything past 95th Street is Utah.
That's true.
So, and I'm like, please, I get to the city in 20 minutes. What are you talking about?
Right.
But for her, she thought that's a million miles away.
It is.
And every time for her to drive back into Chicago, it's like, oh my God, it's so late. I just want to stay at my mom.
Yeah.
So again, that wasn't fair to me either. And if I had to do that over again, I would do that different as well.
What would you do? Would you move to the city? Would you move to 95th Street?
I couldn't move to the city because I'm not a city person. But
Right.
again, we'd have to find neutral ground. If you're really into this person and you're trying to make it work, then you have to compromise. So you have to try to find a way to find a middle ground on this and make it happen.
I'd be finding some suburban broads, to be honest.
Who
for Park Forest? Let's go.
Who
for Park Forest?
But we talked about this yesterday. I always ended up with long distance chick. No matter what chick I met in the club, she was always long distance. Every time I fell for it, and that's how it worked. Now, on the other side of the question, why do you still think about her? Watching those 50-yard line videotapes, there were women that were in those tapes. And a couple that I was still seeing somebody. So nothing was going to happen, but I wanted to. And they made offers, and I was like, wow, okay, maybe.
Offers were high in the Bad Boy Radio days, baby.
Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. And I didn't. Okay?
Oh, what a guy.
But with that being said, then I learned years later that person went off married somebody else, got in a really abusive relationship,
no.
or got strung out on drugs. And I'm just like, ooh, for real?
Right.
What are you talking about? Are we talking about the same girl that used to be at the club? They're like, dude, you should see her. She's like 100 pounds now. And I'm just like, So I always think back, wow, what happened if I did get with her? What if that would have happened? Like, would she have, would we have worked out, and maybe that wouldn't have been the end result?
Right.
I haven't seen any of these chicks, but talking to people that I know and people that I know that are close to them, when the stories got back, I was just like, wow, really? Like, it's heartbreaking because you've had so much fun and good times, and you remember that person. Especially you look at the video clips we showed, I'm like, oh my God, she was out there having a ball, man. She was fun. And then you realize that, man, she get her arm broke and got restraining orders and stuff like that, and you just don't want to ever hear that, from anybody, and it's just bad news.
Yeah, you can't save everybody.
Nope.
My dad said that, and one of my closest friends, he was like, man, sometimes it's only room for you on the boat. Sometimes you can't pull everybody onto the ship with you because it'll sink. So I think that, when we look back at the decisions that we made, we made them and we got to live with them. Certainly it is what it is. You seem like, you pulled some people out of their comfort zone. You pulled them out of, what they were used to, and you gave them what you felt was, the life. I got a great big house in the suburbs.
And that's not fair. Sometimes you have to sit and communicate with people and figure out because, hey, you lived in an apartment your entire life. You're not used to a house. A house is not like an apartment. If something goes wrong in an apartment, hey, you call Bookman. He comes down and fixes it, hopefully. In a house, you got to take care of that.
Indeed.
If the washer and dryer go out, you got to take care of that. A house is a big responsibility.
True.
And I grew up my whole life in a house. Right. So a house to me meant cutting grass. It meant shoveling snow. It meant the garage door opener, all that stuff. You date somebody who comes from an apartment living their entire life, that's a crazy adjustment.
In the city?
That's an adjustment.
It is.
So, those are things that I didn't think about back then. But, as a grown-up, I get it now. So, but through all that, at the end of the day, along came Felicia Applebaum, and things are good. And what do I always say now?
Why did that work out?
It worked out for a lot of reasons. One, she was there when things got really rough, and she hung in there with me and helped me through the dark times and stuff.
That's
and then
good.
Second of all, we could relate. She was from Park Forest.
Hey, you finally found
that
suburban
girl. She's
girl.
from the area, so she gets it.
Hey,
so it was like,
I don't mind a house out here. I'm from out here.
So we get it. So, we went to the same high school.
Hey.
We a lot of know the same people. So,
you finally did it.
It worked. So, things worked out, and
years later,
that's how we're rolling. And as far as everything else goes, like we talked about on one of the earlier shows, now it's just embrace the fantasy. Do I still think chicks are hot? Do I see a 55-year-old woman walk down the street and go, damn? Sure I do.
Certainly.
Because I'm a guy, and I'll say it.
Your eyes
but at the end of the
work.
day, I got to go home. So it's like,
You said that like you was disappointed about it.
No, I'm just saying, like I said, you embrace the fantasy. Like, oh, man.
Embrace the fantasy.
God damn, I just had one shot. But then you're like, nope. Because you don't want to fall back. You remember all that you went through. And as I was talking about this yesterday on the Next Lifetime list, I was like, once you've gone through an extreme amount of pain, you don't want to revisit that ever again. It's like when I get a kidney stone, like I drink water now on a regular basis because hopefully I will never see another kidney stone ever. Because it hurts. And the hospital is crazy and the bill is crazy and operation and all that. I don't ever want to go through that again. Right. So, you make better choices. You deal with it, you grow up, and you keep it chill.
And I'm glad that you did that. And that's all about living. It's funny. I think that women sometimes think, well, from when I talk to women, what?
I just saw the comment. Somebody would gonna have to say that. They ain't gonna say Felicia Applebaum just put it on me, and I'm like, I ain't never sprung. Don't get it twisted. I do the springing. Thank you very much.
He's Jerry Springer.
Right. I'm Dizzy Springer in this piece. Hear me. I ain't missionary and go. Don't get it twisted. There's two guys up here behind these microphones, so don't even try to go there.
See him swing on me like that?
Here we go.
You see him swing on me?
My guy, missionary and go.
I'm not that guy.
Me? Stand on your head, goddammit, because I'm coming for goodies. Let's do this. Hey. Just say.
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works. a missionary and go and be like, I hope you're happy. I hope that was satisfactory, and if it wasn't, all right, see me tomorrow.
Like, damn, I'm hungry.
See? Look at him.
There you go.
Mr. Ejaculation. Mr. Ejaculation.
Right.
Mr. Ejaculation. No, man. I mean, that's how you got to live. Live your life. Do your thing your way. I mean, what makes the world go round is unique individuals. Everybody is not the same sexually, does not have the same sexual needs, wants, or likes. And, one way is not better than the other way. It's just your way. Mm-hmm. So your way is your way. My way is my way. It is what it is.
And,
so,
if everybody was the same, the world would be a boring place.
It was.
So good.
It would be, right. So we're glad we live in an exciting world. Coming up at 4 o'clock, we got a young lady that is going to keep our world even more exciting. Her name is P Rae, and she is a young black Trump supporter. She is from the west side of Chicago, and she is 30 years old. At least that's what she say. Black woman, right? She's 30. All right, wink, wink. Gotcha. Really? Or if she say no, I take that back because generally young women don't lie about their age. Just like once you get over 40, then it's like you're not supposed to ask a woman her age.
Whatever.
Like only old women say shit like that. Like a young woman, you'd be like, "How old are you?" 30. Like you don't even get the damn question out.
I love women over 50 years old.
I do too.
I won't even talk to a woman under 50 years old. She got to be over 50.
I agree.
Man.
You want to know why? Because you can shoot up the club. Woo. Bang, 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 bang.
Okay, just so you know, the
Shanita, what up?
The chat board is kind of hot right now because they're like, we're going to have to revisit the why do you still think about her question, and you're going to have to answer tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because you haven't answered, and everybody wants to know, how come Mike isn't saying anything?
That's because it's Ask Dizz.
Mike needs to say something.
The name of the segment is Ask Dizz, not Ask Mike.
Right.
All right?
But everybody's like, how come Mike hasn't said anything? How come he don't say nothing?
Because it's Ask Dizz.
Okay. All right.
And his name is Dizz, not mine.
Hey,
Right. So we bring it back up. If we revisit it tomorrow, I'll tell y'all my story. All right.
Oh, you hear that, y'all? Don't let him forget that. Don't let him forget it because, I definitely want to hear this because the Auntie Barb Ann story was great yesterday. So I can only imagine where we'd go on this.
Yeah, I had my stalker days.
We all had our stalker days.
Right.
Yeah, one day we're just going to have to do stalker stories. That right there is crazy because everybody always wants to think a stalker is just some chick that you got with and you realize it really wasn't that good and you're not interested anymore and she's mad because she just wants to keep the relationship going. When you find out that it's a 45-year-old white lady in the basement in Oak Forest who thinks you're the voice of her dead husband, that is a stalker. That is a stalker right there.
Hilarious story. Shared that on the Chicagofamous podcast.
Right. That's when you don't know. You're like, what the hell is she talking about? Like, it's Brian. I know that's him. Like, lady, what are you talking about? That's a stalker. But that's for another show.
Yeah, stalking for me has, not dangerous. Just,
It cost you a window, didn't it?
Did I lose a window?
I thought you did lose a window.
I'm pretty sure I did. I've had women right on I had a girl, this was, before I got married, wink, wink. I had a girl right on my car window in lipstick.
Ooh.
So it was like kind of sexual, kind of stalky. It was like sexual stalky, like, I want you back. And I was just like, who does this? Who writes in?
Wow.
But, we all we got stories and we'll share them.
Yeah,
so.
We'll have to share the stalker stories because I actually have a stalker on videotape.
All right,
put that down. Because I still have the video. I have the VHS tape because she showed up at the club. And I was paranoid the entire night because she was like, left that message, I'm coming for you. I'm like, oh,
That's
shit.
What she said.
Right. So I had to tell security, I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what she looks like, but this is what I think, and blah, 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 blah. And lo and behold, bam, she showed up in the club and was like, oh, police!
That's what you get, Mr. Put It On Them.
I didn't do shit. That was again.
Oh, you hadn't had sex with her?
None of my stalker stories revolved around me just getting with a chick, and it was a whole lot of fun, and we did the whole 3-ring circus, and then all of a sudden I decided, you know what, she really wasn't that hot. I'm going to move to somebody else, and she didn't want to let it go. No,
you're a nice guy.
They were people that I had never met, knew nothing about. One looked up my picture in
you
the
had
yearbook.
celebrity stalkers.
The other one just
This nigga.
heard my voice and thought I was her dead husband.
This nigga
Like, I
had-
don't know any of these people.
This nigga had movie stalkers.
I got
Like,
restraining
what you
orders
not-
downtown from people I didn't even know.
What you not gonna do is
That's
have
the worst
movie
type of stalker.
stalkers.
I'd rather have a regular type stalker. At least I know who the hell it is. I'm like, oh, that's Shanika. She just tripping. Yeah, at least I know where she stayed. I know what to look for. If she show up, I know what she look like. These other ones, that's a whole different plateau, Joe.
Hey,
Trust me.
Hey, I may have been Mr. Missionary and Go, but I had some Missionary and Go stalkers. You best believe it. Let's take a break.
All right, take a break. Chicago Famous. Share the video. Share us out on Facebook and on YouTube. Man, we got a lot of people tuned in. I think the Trump girl, she got people riled up already. So we can't wait to hear what's going on with this. She'll be in a minute. Once again, don't forget to hit us up in the comments. Leave all your comments. Let us know what you're thinking. We always appreciate the love, and we'll be back at you with more Chicago Famous.
WIFTBPN.
Funeral expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at solobeauty.com.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Tucson Warner and Herb Howard.
You'll never breed a warrior.
Warriors, come out to play.
You hear that? And that's what's happening at every angle. They're creating paradigms where we can only raise feminine men.
Yes.
Whether they're homosexual or not, they feminine as shit.
Sure, because all masculinity is toxic.
All masculinity is toxic in a war-torn society where the dominant society is saying to your ass, we don't never want no warriors.
Right.
You bastards. Any book you've ever read, you can read the Bible, goddammit. When they go and they destroy some shit, they kill all the boy babies.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even want you growing up to think you're gonna do some shit to me.
Animals do the same thing. If I come over here and I take over this village now or whatever, like this gonna be my pride. First thing I'm doing, killing the male boys, like killing the male babies.
Don't you even grow up with that?
Don't you even think about it.
Ever.
Okay?
Bitch.
Right. You ain't my daddy, you damn right I ain't your daddy. Fuck your fort, little nigga.
Fuck your fort.
You're not my dad.
Oh man, I hate that I laugh at this shit in public.
That's real.
I hate that I laugh at this stuff in public.
That's real though, right? Tucson Warner and Herb Howard live on What's in It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at solobeauty.com.
What's up, good people? If you didn't tune in to the last I Said What I Said, here's what you missed. Special thanks to Love McPherson.
And when you talk about object sex, you and objectifying that woman, you glorify pieces of her. And let me tell you something. If you think that doesn't matter, it does. And I'm going to tell you why it matters. I looked at a video and I was looking at these young boys, these teenagers, and they were like, do you like black women or white women? I like white women. I like white women. And first I felt some kind of way. Then you know what happened to me? I started listening to them and they said, why did you like the white women? Because they'll do anything for you. Yeah, the white hoes.
Bitch, you is a hoe. Bitch, you is a hoe.
And I thought pornography has elevated what the white woman will do for you, the objectifying of her. And this is why we don't realize, even in our spaces, the black man is shut down because he doesn't know the power of his seed like the white man knows the power of his seed.
Oh, look, just like milk.
He doesn't realize that you sit up there coming into my neighborhood, objectifying my white women because you say they do it better than your women is a problem. They don't do it to them, but they won't bring that out, and they will not allow you to do that to their women.
I said what I said. Herb 2, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Biggest threat to Illinois citizens from Washington is health care costs and policies. Senior citizens have their Social Security reduced from Medicaid, and some of our senior citizens live off $3 a week for food allowance. Working families are facing bankruptcy over policy and limit and costs. Drug prices require decision between food and Medicaid. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
WIFTVPN.
In all my years of radio, I've never seen anything like this.
You're listening to Chicago Famous with Mike Love and Dizz. So hit it.
Smooth beat, glorious. I'm gonna do all the verses. Hey, Chicago Famous Mike Love, Dizz, back with hour 2.
All right. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going all the way to 6 o'clock. So make sure you share the video. We shout you out. A lot of things going on today, and yeah, it's gonna get really interesting. Are we gonna take phone calls? Do you know?
I want to be able to take. Do we?
I want to take phone calls.
Are we taking phone calls? Are we able to take phone calls, Mr. New Board Operator? Have we been introduced to this guy?
Right. Nobody
we have
tells
not
us
been
nothing.
introduced.
Nobody
He's
tells
like,
us
I don't
nothing.
know. This guy. Yeah. I'll come introduce and both of us after the show. They put put a young guy in there. And the thing about it is, up here at What's in It for the Black People, they've been very, very good at introductions. Very good. You know, just pulling people aside, or when they come in the building. The guy that painted the building, I met him 7 times.
Right. The chick that built the wall, met her like 8 times.
Right. Get her name. The guy that's running our show, not
Don't
once.
know.
Not once.
And he's driving the car here for us, and we have no idea who it is.
Driver, drive.
Right.
Play my man like an Uber. Even at least you know the name of the Uber driver. At least.
Exactly.
Come on.
Exactly.
We got to do better on that. But,
So anyway, the big debate is going down tonight.
Yes.
I hope that you all take some time out of your life to tune into this because, again, I suggest you watch Crazy. Watch Crazy, watch Sleepy, because it should be interesting because, again, even these decisions, they may not affect you directly. Maybe they affect our kids. Maybe they affect our parents. You just don't know. But, I mean, don't let this opportunity slip by. Stay informed. Open your eyes. Watch what's going on. Make your own opinions. Don't let somebody make an opinion for you. And, take it from there.
The debate is scheduled from 9 to 10:30 Eastern time.
So that's 8.
8 to 9:30 our time.
8 to 11.
Yeah. So for those asking in the comments, shout out to Lauren. My girl Lauren Tyner Ford was a favorite back in the radio, back when I was on the radio.
Okay.
She used to be on the feed, and every morning we would do it was a play off of Eminem. So Chris D'Elia, the comedian, did this parody of Eminem, and he was like, So every morning Lauren would get on the feed and it would be like, Lauren, good morning, Lauren. And it was me doing my version of that. So shout out to Lauren. I see you in the feed, Shanita, and a whole lot of the old heads. Welcome in.
I'm telling you, if you get a chance, go back and look at the comments in the evening because they are hilarious. Like yesterday, people were talking about all the stuff that we do. And, of course, people always mention the crate because we always have the crate next to us. And we always have the salt just in case we got to get salty. And after I heard who was coming up here today, I almost brought that big industrial bag of salt up here because I was like, I didn't know we were going to take calls or not, but I figured there was going to be salt flying all over here. So,
they're going to be salty.
But, yeah, it ought to be quite interesting. But you guys leaving your comments in there, it's fascinating sometimes. Like I said, Mike said he looks at his phone in the bed. I'm sitting there in my bed late at night. I'm going through all the comments, and I'm either liking or hit the hearts or I reply to somebody. But whatever I can do, I try to go through all. And you know what? This show, we probably average anywhere between 1,000 to 1,200 comments a show.
Keep commenting,
so
people.
Just imagine going through like 12,000 comments, 1,200 comments.
I can't imagine.
And you know what?
I don't do that.
It's funny because when I was on the other station and I was doing my mix show on Friday nights, I would do a mix and then I would send out a link.
Okay.
So if people wanted to download the mix that I just played on the radio,
Right.
and people would hit me on my Yahoo back then. That's actually when I had a Yahoo account. And I swear, man, I would get like 2,000 people would just hit me with their email address and let me know that they wanted to get that mix on a download. Nice. And I had to sit up there half of Friday night and most of Saturday morning returning everybody's email message one by one. I did that for like 3 years. People used to be like, you return everybody's email? And I'm like, well, that's the only way they can get it. I can't send a mass email out. I got to go to everybody's email, answer their question, put the link in there, and send the mix back to them. So, when it comes to me going through comments late at night, it's no big deal to me. It's nothing. It's therapy because people crack me up anyway, and I love to see what they got to say about the show. So,
folks are hilarious.
TT Reed, she know.
All right. Let's touch on this Breonna Taylor situation before P. Rae steps into the studio and gets into this. We kind of touched on this in the first hour. This is the case that is not going away. Breonna Taylor grand jury deliberations to be released after a juror said the Kentucky AG misrepresented
Get it right. Slow it down.
Misrepresented the proceedings. Yes, Mike Love cannot read this. I think that's interesting that a juror stepped up and she was like, wait a minute. We were never even given the opportunity or the option to bring charges against these cops. So, so it's kind of like the attorney general. It's kind of like, hey, it went before a grand jury and,
Maybe that was in the fine print. The juror fine print. You signed on to be a juror for this, and oh yeah, by the way, did you see that fine print at the bottom down there? Who knows?
Yeah, they're speaking up now. The unnamed juror filed a court motion on Monday, which was yesterday, seeking the release of last week's transcripts and permission from a judge to speak publicly to set the record straight. Hours later, the office of the Attorney General Daniel Cameron granted both requests, saying that the juror is free to speak and that the recordings of the session will be made public. So this juror is not seeking any fame, money, or acclaim. They just want like the real deal to come out. So black folks already had it in for the Attorney General Daniel Cameron, saying it all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
True.
I saw him in a lot of memes last week.
A lot of memes.
Oh, he made
that dude was all over the place. After a while, if you didn't know who he was, you probably saw enough memes where you had to do your research. Like, okay, who is this guy? Yeah, you found out.
Yeah. So they're saying there were 6 possible homicide charges under Kentucky law. These charges are not applicable to the facts before us because our investigation showed. This is what the Attorney General said. Showed that Mattingly and Cosgrove were justified in the return of deadly fire after having been fired upon. Now they are also saying that they're not even sure, get this, that the bullet that hit the cop came from Breonna's boyfriend.
So they didn't retrieve all those bullets that were like lodged in the house and the bullet hit her and then tracked it back to the, I mean, I watch enough SVU. I'm just like,
and you're a gun owner.
I watch Dexter. Yeah, I'm a gun owner, so I'm like, okay, they didn't do that. Like they couldn't find out.
Somebody's holding back something. It seems like there's a bit of a cover up because even if the cop got a 9 and the boyfriend got a 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a 9. You got a 9.
Everybody's got a 9. Okay.
Right. So let's say everybody had a 9 on that day, which they didn't, but let's just for argument's sake. So they're like, oh, we can't really tell what bullet came from where because no, every gun has
it's different. When it comes out of the barrel, it has a certain marking on it.
Explain.
That when it comes through the barrel, it shoots through that barrel. There's grooves that are in the bullet that will match the barrel that it came from.
Right. So if they're saying they ain't sure, it sounds like a cover up to me.
Sounds like they're full of shit.
Because I don't know if he was hit by the bullet, it was in and out. Or it grazed him, or the bullet went in the guy, whatever. Like, so maybe they can't tell because, I don't know, they can't find the bullet. The bullet didn't go, he was hit by the bullet, but, so.
It just disappeared.
Right.
Right. We can't find the bullet. We can't find the slug. We don't know what happened to it.
Right.
Okay. All right.
It obviously was not in the cop, so, maybe it bounced off him. I don't know. It just sounds like, and this case is not going anywhere. You cannot have a juror come out and say we were misrepresented. That's one, and on the other side, you can't have a situation where you're saying we cannot say one way or the other if the bullet that came from the boyfriend's gun or the bullet that hit the cop, because once they heard the shot, then that's all they need to hear. Everybody just started unloading. Even a cop in the killing of Breonna Taylor in that documentary, one of the cops that lived in the complex but was on the scene, he's like, I heard like 20, 25 shots.
Everybody pretty much said that.
I was like, 25 shots?
I mean, they shot the whole house up. I mean, there was bullet holes everywhere. You know, and again, a lot of that was because they were shooting blindly. Just shoot it into the house. So, I mean, there's not even a target on site. They were just blasted. So.
Right, which is absolutely ridiculous. So the more that comes out of this story, and, you know, I think up until now, or at least I hadn't really done the deep dive. So
I appreciate you putting me up on that.
The killing of Breonna Taylor.
The little documentary piece that the New York Times did. It's available on Hulu or on demand. I actually got to check it out. I checked it out on Sunday, but it's a good piece. It's maybe a little over an hour, I guess. It's not long, and it gives you an opportunity to kind of check it out from a different perspective, and it really does a good job of humanizing Breonna Taylor and, you know, not what you've been fed about her character and all that type of stuff, but seeing her friends talk about her family members talking about her, and the boyfriends as well. And I think that was the biggest thing that I took away from that.
Absolutely.
Because that was key, that there was like two guys involved here. And everybody was jumping on the guy who fired the shot, but after you watch that, you'll kind of understand the situation he was put in, and I get it now. I'm like, okay, I probably would have did the same thing, actually. So
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, kick down your door. What are you going to do? So there are hours and hours of
50-yard line tape. No, I'm sorry.
No, when the jurors sat down for the deliberations, so they're going to have to go through hours and hours of deliberations and talks. So hopefully they will release a best of, a greatest hits, because who's really going to sit through that? Like,
so here's a question: have you ever been on a jury? You ever been called in for jury duty?
I have been called in for jury duty.
Really?
Yes, I have.
Wow.
I never sat on a jury, though.
Okay. Nope. I never got called in.
Never got called in?
Nope. Seems like my mom gets called in constantly, but I've never got called in for jury duty.
I can't believe that.
Knock on wood.
At this point, they must not be able to find you, because I can't.
You know where I'm at. I got bills. Shoot, hey,
somebody must be throwing
collections can find my ass. Shoot, I know they can find me, because every time I think I didn't duck out on that $120 medical bill, they find my ass. So look, if they want to find me, they can find me.
Look, you must be throwing them out, because if you're a taxpayer and they got your address, sooner or later in your lifetime, and usually sooner. I got mine. We were still at GCI when I was. So
you showed up and they made you part of the pool. Then they decided they weren't going to use you and sent you home.
Yep, that is what happened. And they were like, "We'll call you if we're gonna use you." Sure was. It was definitely in the GCI days. Called me, went downtown. It was some guy, some drug case or something. The guy was sitting right there, and
that would have been crazy, right? Some drug case, you're sitting on the jury, he looks over, and be like, Mike Love, be like,
Mike, don't send me to jail.
Right,
Mike Love,
don't do your boy like that. Shout me. I remember a time I had to go pay a traffic violation at Markham Courthouse. I don't know what it was for. I don't know. I think I turned on a light when the train was coming. Something. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, I'm walking through the courthouse in Markham, and this dude is in handcuffs, in the suit, in the brown suit, being led out the courtroom.
Okay.
The police, the sheriff's got him. They're walking past me. Dude recognizes me. He's like, yo, Dizz, what's up, man? Give your boy a shout. I was like, holy shit, dude is in handcuffs, being led out of Markham Courthouse, and recognizes me and instantly wants a shout out. Right. I just think he was probably one of the brothers from the 50 that used to party with me all the time. But I was just like, damn, really?
Shout me out.
Shout me out. I'm like, all right, bruh. Think you got bigger problems, but if you want me to, I got you.
I mean, nothing beats a shout out in the black community.
Right. Nothing beats a shout out, right?
Nothing.
That's like money.
That's gold.
You can exchange a shout out for goods and services.
Nigga, a shout out? Please.
Just say my name.
Look at Polo the Don, even though Trump fucked his name up.
Mm-hmm.
Palau. Your man Trump was just, he was in Atlanta in ATL last Friday, sending shout-outs from the stage, all his supporters, and one of them happened to be producer Polo the Don. And you could tell he was reading from a teleprompter, and you could tell because he fucked dude's name up, but he pronounced it. See, that's the thing with us black folks and our artistry is that we got these names that when white people read them, it's like he spells it Polow. All right, so if I look at that Polow, that looks like Palau to me.
See, I would have said Polo.
Polo.
Right.
Polo. P-O-L-O. Polo. Right. You're right. Polo.
Right.
But he's pronouncing like white folks. Palau. So it's like one word.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
all.
Well, that's
that.
on him then.
Yeah. So you got to phonetically give it to white folks and just put the P-O-L-O up there. Be like
white
Polo.
folks will always get the names wrong, and black folks get the song wrong.
What is that even supposed to mean?
Like, we can't get lyrics to songs right to save our damn life, and white folks will constantly mess up names. I remember when I was working in my record store, and they used to send us those CDs or those tapes with the upcoming artists that we used to play in the store. So, like, coming up for the month of October, make sure you pick up the new BBD Poison album.
Right.
Anyway, oh, my God, I can never forget. I would put in those CDs, and one of them they had Queen Latifah. Her new CD, UNITY, Black Hand Side or whatever it was, Queen Latifah. Right. I had a Mick Hammer.
Mick Hammer.
Can't Touch This by Mick Hammer. I was like, man. Oh my God, for real? I can't play that in this store.
Mick Hammer.
Like, there was another one
white
too.
Folks.
They just messed up, and I can't think of what it was. But yeah, Queen Latifah, I will never forget.
And Mick Hammer.
They always found a way to mess that up.
It's the new burger at McDonald's, man. The Mick Hammer.
Right.
They should have did that, man.
The Mick Hammer. Well, remember he did a Taco Bell commercial and hip hop crucified him.
No, it was KFC.
Oh, was it KFC?
Yeah,
I thought it was Taco Bell.
No, because he threw the chicken in the air.
But when he parachuted, is that the one where he parachuted down with the pants
yes,
and all that? Okay,
yes, that was KFC.
Yeah, and hip hop crucified him for that.
I showed somebody that video a few years ago. I was like, yo, you did not see the video of MC Hammer catching chicken with his lips. Like, but I'm going to show you because everything is on YouTube. And they were like, I can't believe that. It was like,
all right, dude, you're going to have to pull that up in the 5 o'clock hour. We're going to have to put that on the screen back here or something to hook that up. That'd be funny.
Somebody's got to see it.
Somebody's got to see it.
All right, let's see what else is going on in the world of the world. JB Pritzker. All your fans in downstate Illinois will love this information.
Going on a barbecue today. JB's got to go on lockdown now. 14 days, homie.
COVID is nonstop, man. It's did you hear that Robin Robinson got the COVID?
I was actually watching. She did a Facebook
video.
Live. Yeah. I saw that yesterday.
Good thing she didn't come in.
Right.
She would have gave us the Rona.
Oh, no.
She would have blamed it on us, too. Watch.
Right. She would put it on us. Be like, yeah, damn Chicagofamous. Mm-hmm. Them guys.
I went in there with Mike Love, Dizz, Maze Jackson. Got the COVID.
And got the COVID.
Right. But that was the thing that I noticed in that, at least as much as I watched, because I didn't watch the whole thing, because the way my attention span is set up.
Right. Mike is 3 seconds and out.
I am. That's me, Mr.
Mr. There you go.
Mr. There you go. You're
there
damn
you
right.
go.
You're damn right. In and out. But she was talking about, this is Robin Robinson. We'll get back to JB. She was just talking about the stigma that comes with, testing positive for COVID and telling people, it's like COVID is the new HIV.
Yep.
Like in the world, within our community, you tell somebody, first because everyone is trying so hard not to get it, right? Everyone is moving around, especially black women. Black women are especially safe, especially the ones that I see and come across. I don't work in healthcare, so, I don't know what it's like in a hospital, but the people that I know are always mad. Like, you go, the only black women you don't see with masks on are like Trump supporters.
Nope.
That's it. Like black women.
Can't wait to see if she comes in here with a mask on.
I bet she don't. But Robin was saying how, she protected herself. She always wore a mask. She always social distance, and, she still got it. And, she was just talking about the stigma of talking, how people react and respond. It's like, and I know from a person that not only, tested positive, but had, COVID back when it was just the Rona.
And I had it before it was the Rona.
Right, before it even had a name.
I had it in January when it was an upper respiratory infection. I was like, this ain't no upper respiratory infection. This shit is different.
Right.
I know I walk 80 miles every month and I don't feel right. Well, take this breathing treatment. And then by the time March rolled around here,
By the way,
COVID-19. I'm like, okay, wow.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
So one of the things that I remember when I made a post on Facebook and was like, oh, by the way, I had COVID. Check it out. I talk about it on the Chicagofamous podcast. And people were just like, oh, my God, Mike Love, are you all right? Like, it was just like.
Ready to send a care package,
right.
man. We're about to get the edible arrangements sent to your house and shit. Like,
oh, my God, we're so glad. Let me pray for you.
Do you like cantaloupe? How about these grapes and strawberries?
And it was so funny to me because
I'm fine.
It was like I had the flu. I couldn't taste anything for about 4 days. And, in a week, I was, back on my feet again. I was cool. Everything was fine. But because so many people have died, and we are either we know someone that died or we're a degree from somebody that died, being black folks, we really look at it like, in some cases, which is why black folks don't want to send their kids back to school. Like, look at the difference between the city. The difference
between the suburb school and the city school.
Talk about it.
The suburban schools are like, where's the Orland Park, Oak Park, Batavia,
right?
Anywhere you got those suburban white school districts, they are like, we are sending our kids back.
And they're going back because every day there is a story of them getting together and protesting that they don't like their kids out of school, and they don't like remote learning, and their kids need to be back in school. That's in the suburbs, not just when we used to talk downstate. Now we talking 15, 20 minutes outside of Chicago.
Right in the area.
Right. However, in the city, opposite. The teachers don't even fucking want to go back. I heard a story today about the teachers union. The head of the teachers union was like, they're going to have to, get some better, the air's got to be better in the school.
Better ventilation
is
circulation,
the word.
and all that. Yeah.
I ain't heard none of that in the suburbs.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. And you know what? This whole remote learning, I knew was going to be challenging, but I've heard the horror stories from teachers, and they're just like, okay, just between internet connections going down, kids not able to pay attention or not logging on what they're supposed to, you're talking about, and that's when as parents, somehow, some way, we got to find a way to step in and try to fill that teaching void ourselves, because man, these kids are going through it and they're not adapting well. My nephew, he signed up for all online learning. Like, great, I get to stay at home. That shit lasted for about 3 weeks. Drove him absolutely crazy.
Right.
So now he's like half in the building, half at home, because that just didn't work for him. I know it probably wouldn't have worked for me. It probably would have drove me crazy as well. And hell, I lived across the street from the school. So, I'm just saying.
So why do you think white folks are so?
I think they got better schools. I think they got better equipment. I think they're just like, look, forget this shit. We need to send the kids back into the classroom, have them be prepared, put a mask on. They get a nice. You know the difference between some of these suburban schools and city schools.
No, I think they're less fearful.
Well, that could be it too.
I think black folks
you know
are
what?
more
I got to give you
fearful.
that because when they talk about the COVID deaths, they point to people of color. They point to poor neighborhoods. Right. So if that's where the risk is the highest, then they don't want to go back to school because that's where the risk is the highest.
Right. Look at all of the people.
Back to school.
Look at white bars versus black bars. In Illinois anyway, right? Black folks very, very cautious. Obviously, in some cities that is not the case, especially in the South and in Atlanta. They've been like, you know what? You open in the clubs, we in the clubs. You open the parties, we in the parties. People are so fearful in Illinois, especially in Chicago. They've done a great job of spreading fear to go with your COVID. A nice side of fear to go with your COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So black folks do not want to send their kids to death in their minds, whereas white folks, they haven't, like you said, they haven't died in the numbers, and they believe, I don't know, they're just, I think that it's not so much that we buy into fear more than anybody. I think that when you see death, it's going to, you're going to react to it. But on the other side of it, I think that white folks just have not lived a life of always being cautious, and that's something we talked about in the beginning of COVID.
Well, that's true.
Because the main people that was like, "Fuck that, we out," was white folks. They was not wearing the masks in the stores. They was just like, you couldn't tell them shit. You couldn't tell them to put on a mask.
Right, they're bulletproof.
Right,
they're not worried about it.
Right. So, look at the suburbs. I think a lot of the kids are just, the parents and the kids are like, oh, come on, we need you back in school. And then, of course, sports. A lot of parents, depend on sports for scholarships.
True.
And, a lot of people want their kids back in school so they can get the opportunity to get their scholarships.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just a mess.
It's a mess.
It really is. But, yeah, that's been every day there's another story about another suburban school district that's like, forget it. We're open for business. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
All right, let's take a break. P Rae just texted me. She's here.
She's here.
She's moving like a Trump supporter.
Y'all ready for this?
Y'all
ready for this? Yeah!
All right.
Because it's about to be one, so share the video now. You want to share it? This is the time to share the video right now. Share it on Facebook. Share it on YouTube. Whatever you got to do, because, yeah, it is about to be one right here on Chicago Famous. Leave your comments, all your questions in the comments. We'll definitely check that out because we can't wait to hear what you all got to say because it's about to get real right here on Chicago Famous.
IFTBPN.
Hey, did you walk over?
What's up, good people? If you didn't tune in to the last I Said What I Said, here's what you missed. Special thanks to Love McPherson.
And when you talk about object sex, you and objectifying that woman, you glorify pieces of her. And let me tell you something. If you think that doesn't matter, it does. And I'm going to tell you why it matters. I looked at a video and I was looking at these young boys, these teenagers, and they were like, do you like black women or white women? I like white women. I like white women. And first I felt some kind of way. Then you know what happened to me? I started listening to them and they said, why did you like the white women? Because they'll do anything for you. Yeah, the white hoes.
Bitch, you is a hoe. Bitch, you is a hoe.
And I thought pornography has elevated what the white woman will do for you, the objectifying of her. And this is why we don't realize, even in our spaces, the black man is shut down because he doesn't know the power of his seed like the white man knows the power of his seed.
Oh, look, just like milk.
He doesn't realize that you sit up there coming into my neighborhood, objectifying my white women because you say they do it better than your women is a problem. They don't do it to them, but they won't bring that out, and they will not allow you to do that to their women.
I said what I said. Herb 2, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Biggest threat to Illinois citizens from Washington is health care costs and policies. Senior citizens have their Social Security reduced from Medicaid, and some of our senior citizens live off $3 a week for food allowance. Working families are facing bankruptcy over policy and limit and costs. Drug prices require decisions between food and Medicaid. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
When you need vibrant, colorful gear that offers high-performance material that keeps you cool, call Agent Huff Custom Gear. Let us take your expressions and create something new for your everyday wear, your bedroom, or bath. For all your needs, we offer custom sublimation, silkscreen, vinyl, and embroidery. You can reach us on all things social at Superhero Huff. www.superherohuff.com or 630-476-9191.
WIFTVPN.
In all my years of radio, I've never seen anything like this.
You're listening to Chicago Famous with Mike Love and Dizz. So hit it.
Chicago Famous, Mike Love, Dizz. We're back.
We're back, taking you all the way up till 6 p.m. today. Don't forget, leave your comments on YouTube and Facebook. Share the video. We'll shout you out, as always. That's how we do it here on Chicago Famous.
All right. What does a black Republican presidential supporter look like? What does a black Trump supporter look like? You, in your mind, probably have an idea. You probably have an idea of how she talks, what she talks about, what she walks, where she's from.
Gotcha.
But I'm going to play a little video that's going to show you a little bit about the young lady that we're about to have on Chicago Famous. Volume on the computer.
And they're saying, how can black people in Chicago be for Donald Trump? He's a racist. His father was in the Klan, the Central Park Five, blah, 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 blah. And what I explained to them is that here on the west side of Chicago, the racism that we have experienced has come from the white liberal class. Those are the racists that we deal with over here. The white liberal class has created this charitable relationship where they believe that the only way that we can survive in our neighborhood is through their charity and their benevolence. So rather than use their power to create streams of economic prosperity, they send us grants. Instead of helping us become more self-sufficient, we get grants. Instead of helping us figure out how to plan for the future, we get grants and free food boxes, because the lie that's perpetuated over here is that we are an impoverished community, and we are not. We live in the United States of America, and this is the greatest, most abundant country in the world. So how did we get linked with Donald Trump? Donald Trump, as you all know, has been a figure in American society our entire lives. He was even in Home Alone, okay? So we've known Donald Trump for a while. What makes him a little different is that he's not a politician. So when he speaks, we're going to get the straight truth. It's not going to be filtered. It's not going to be a lie. He's going to give it to us straight. He's going to give it to us straight from the heart. We are Chicago people. My shirt says Chicago girls hustle harder. Chicago people like straightforwardness. We don't have time. It's cold outside most of the time. We're trying to get to where we're trying to go, and we're the children of Mississippi cotton pickers. So all we know is hard work, hustle, and accomplishing goals. It was a big feat for our grandparents to leave those plantations down in Mississippi and come to Chicago and buy these buildings and build a life for us. And
all right, her name is P Rae. She is from the west side of Chicago. She has an event, or actually she runs a page on Facebook called Black Chicago for Trump. That is part of the Wells Washington Douglas Society. That is her PAC. And she has an event, a fish fry, that you probably have seen on your timelines. It has come up and been screenshotted in many timelines we'd like to thank her for coming by. Chicagofamous P Rae, good afternoon.
Hello, thank you for having me today.
All right, thank you for coming up.
I was telling you all this is like a Chicago pulpit for me, so I want to give honor to God, the head of my life, you know, and everybody that is here, because you all are Mike Love and Dizz. You know, this is if we talk about Chicago famous, you all are Chicago famous. You made up songs, I mean, everything. You guys are so integrated into our culture. So thank you for your creativity and the love that you've given to us.
Well, we definitely appreciate the kind words.
See, now right off the bat. All right. So she's different for now. Are you call yourself a Republican, first of all? So if I identify you as a Republican, you're okay with that, or are you more identified as a Trump supporter?
I would say that I am. I guess I could identify as a Republican. I have pulled a Republican primary ballot here. Okay. But I grew up on the West Side in the Democratic machine. Right. So I know the politicians here. These are my friends. And so I want to say very publicly, me supporting the president is not an indictment against them. It's just that it's time for us to try something a little different.
So you've made it clear that you've grown up on the West Side. So where exactly did you grow up on the West Side, and where'd you go to school, and the background on the West Side?
Okay, so I grew up in the 37th Ward. My parents had 2 buildings on Lawler and Augusta, and then we moved, I call it, to the big house in the 29th Ward on Erie and Menard. Now I live back in the 37th Ward in the building that my grandparents bought in 1972. And so this is my block. I know everybody in the whole entire neighborhood. Right. I'm very comfortable. If I could live, I always tell people the West Side, the Austin community is the absolute best place to live in the city because South Side people left the South, West Side people brought the South. Ooh, so we are very hospitable. We like to barbecue. We like parties. We like visiting. We like to sit on our porches. We have a very good time. It's a lot of respect and love on the West Side. All of our bus lines go downtown. We have 2 trains, the blue line, the green line. We're close right in the middle of both airports, and we have the luxury of the western suburbs, which are affluent. So everything that's found on the Magnificent Mile, we have access to in the western suburbs, and then we don't have to worry about parking and all that good stuff. So it's for me, the most perfect place to live in the city.
So when did you start getting a bad taste in your mouth with Democrats and decide that Donald Trump was the support that you needed to get behind?
So in 2016, I left the United States of America. I was absolutely disgusted with the job that Barack Hussein Obama Jr. was doing. So I grabbed my 4-year-old, I got our passports, and we moved to sunny Senegal for a year. I went out there, I got a job, I had 4 contracts with international schools, I put my baby in school, she was speaking French, drinking tea, eating fish on the beach. I could not take watching my neighborhood be demolished very rapidly. So Rahm Emanuel is actually the one who really disgusted me in all of this. Rahm is the monster of the story. So Rahm in 1998 became the chairman of CHA. And so when he became chairman of CHA, he was in charge of demolishing the projects. And so he oversaw that entire plan. He and Andrew Cuomo, who was then HUD secretary under Clinton, came up with this plan. So the city of Chicago got $500 million, $500 million, to demolish these structures and rebuild them. The city of Chicago hoarded this money to this very day. Well, now they're starting to spend it. My Donnie took care of that because that's why I went to D.C.
She calls the president my Donnie.
My Donnie. I love. We'll
get into that. We'll get into that.
Right.
But, we got time.
Yeah.
We're going to make up for this
half
hour.
We're going to keep talking. So just continue on.
So my Donnie. So anyway, so Rahm tore down the projects, and then we know the chaos that ensued. Once Rahm became mayor, Rahm implemented a plan to demolish the housing stock of middle-class Black Chicago. So if you noticed, from 2014 to 2016, there were red X's on buildings all around the South and West Side, and they demolished them very rapidly. And these were houses that we saw our neighbors living in, our family members living in. The city was slapping minor codes on people, bringing them into building court, and then, your grandmother or whoever can't take care of that fine, then the city would take possession of that building and then they would demolish it. So now we have tons of vacant lots in the Austin community that did not exist before Rahm got into office. So the demolitions, coupled with the fact that the Affordable Care Act stated that if employers gave you 30 hours of work, they had to offer you health care. So employers were only giving 29 and a half hours of work, which meant that you had to work 2 29 and a half hour jobs to get some full-time work, which is actually 59 hours, and then you don't get any benefits from that.
Right.
So I'm like, I can go to Africa, exercise my French, work in some international organizations, get some health care, build an international network, and chill until all of this is over. And so that's initially, it wasn't Donald Trump who attracted me to him, but rather Rahm Emanuel and Barack Obama who repelled me from them.
Okay, so you talked about how you feel about Rahm Emanuel. What was it about Barack Obama that fueled your passion to not go along with what he was doing?
Barack Obama never had anything nice to say about me and my people. Every time he addressed us, he wanted to talk about how we didn't have fathers, how we were out of control. He actually, when they were doing the Mike Brown protest, he went and spoke to a youth group in London and told these British young people that the American young people were going about it the wrong way with our protest and we needed to try a different way and all type of stuff. And I'm like, how dare you go back to the colonial power and talk about us? I just didn't like that at all. I also did not appreciate how that administration sent $35 million to the city of Chicago to demolish our housing stock. Our grandparents, when they left the Mississippi Delta, and like my family, we're from Chula. Chula is spelled with a T. That's how country it is, okay? It's the poorest town in the poorest county in the poorest state in the United States of America. My grandparents came up here at 16 and 20 with nothing. My grandmother said she had never even seen snow. And they stood on their feet and were able to purchase a building that I now live in. You understand? So when they started tearing down the housing stock, I took that very personally because I'm like, this is the wealth of my people, and I know people worked hard for these buildings. And even if they wanted to take them, you didn't have to tear them down because once you tear them down, now that's a depopulation move. And I knew from the start that the goal was to depopulate Chicago or depopulate Black Chicago, and Barack Obama helped us do that.
So were any of these buildings that you talk about that they tore down, were they dilapidated buildings?
Some were, but most were not. Like I said, people were living in these buildings, having barbecues in these buildings. These were our neighbors' homes. But you knew as soon as you saw that red X in that square, that was the death mark of that building. And so now if you go to Austin or if you go to Garfield Park over there in K-Town, it's nothing but vacant lots. And my parents explained to me that this has been a move by the city since the 60s after the King riots. So, they tore up Lawndale, when they rioted, and they never rebuilt. So then, so now it's a lot of vacant land over there in North Lawndale. So now we have that same vacant land in Austin, but what they are allowing people to do is to buy double lots. So you can now buy the lot next to your house and fence it off and have more land, but now that takes away from the housing stock in the community. So let me tell you the trick that Rahm played. Remember they were talking about closing the schools?
Right.
So initially Rahm said that he was going to close 100 schools, and that caused all type of outrage, as you call it, fake outrage.
Right.
So then they brought it down to 50. Now let me tell you the underlay for the overplay. The reason that the schools were closed is because there were no more houses. You can't tear down big apartment buildings and 2 flats all throughout the community and then expect for us to have kids to put in the schools. Of course the schools are empty. There are no more houses.
Right.
So what they did was they made that conversation about the schools rather than the houses. And now none of the schools are open. All the kids are learning online,
right,
and we still don't have the houses.
Okay, so now between Barack Obama and Rahm Emanuel, they've gutted the black neighborhoods. All right, it's 2016. You're off in Senegal. So what is it about Trump, as we start to kind of get to why Trump is attractive to you, or is it just that your disdain for those Republicans was so strong.
Those Democrats.
They're Democrats.
Thank you, both of you. Your disdain, like, let's be clear, Mike Love. It sounds like your disdain for them is stronger than your love for Republicans at this point. So where do the Republicans start to make things better for us in your eyes?
So what attracted me to Donald Trump is I'm over there in Senegal. I'm paying for international cable, okay? Because I'm a politician. I love politics.
Okay.
And there's like a 6-hour time delay. On that first debate that they had on CNN, they cheated. Remember, Donna Brazile gave Hillary Clinton the questions beforehand because Debbie Weiserman, who was the chair of the DNC, she told Donna Brazile to give Hillary Clinton the questions, and so they cheated on the debate.
Right.
So I'm like, I stayed up for 6 hours, past my bedtime, went to school the next day, half taught the kids, spent all this money on cable. You all have wasted my time and energy. You're cheaters. I don't want anything to do with this team anymore. Okay. So then that's what started making me pay attention to Donald Trump. So with me living in Senegal, they called me Tubaab. And Tubaab is a Wolof word for white woman. And I would tell them all the time the most offensive thing that an African can call a African American, whereas I identify as Negro, is a white woman. How dare you call us white?
Right.
They're like, no, well, you not us. You American. Stand on being American. And so I began to value being an American because when you're Negro in Africa, the Negro, I always say the Negro is the world's only superstar. Everybody in the world wants to be us. They are dressing like us. They want to speak the English that we speak. They want to just, I went to Turkey and I met an Arab woman who had box braids to her hips. And I said, girl, who did your hair? She said, a lady in Ankara did my hair. Everyone in everyone in Istanbul is wearing their hair like this. We want to look like the pretty black girls in the music videos. And I was like, well, hello. So that's what made me really start valuing us. And Donald Trump is pro-American, like I am. I'm an 8th generation American. This is my country through and through.
Right.
And so he began to talk about American prosperity because, again, I left the country because I could see the country declining. And he said, okay, well, just come on board. The country will do good. Just trust me. What do you have to lose? Mm-hmm. I'm like, you're right, because I know if Hillary Clinton is elected, it's going to be a continuation of the Obama plan, and the Obama plan has really hurt my people and me personally to the point that I've left the country of my ancestors.
Right.
Okay, so I come back to the States. I knew that money was going to be flowing once Trump got in, so I became a stockbroker at a major firm here in Chicago. That's my day job.
That's her day job. That's why she can't tell us her name because she don't want y'all, fucking up her money.
Yes,
right.
Thank you. And it reported me to the. And you know how that goes.
Okay.
So I became a broker, and so when I became a broker on the floor, I was the only black woman there. And so I'm there, and I was doing very, very, very well. I got promoted very rapidly to the point that my manager pulled me to the side, and she says, Patricia, you're doing very well. I love how you navigate the whiteness and the maleness of this space. Everybody is like floored by it. I told her, well, the color is green, and this is my country. I'm in my own country making money. The CEO signs everybody checks the same way.
Right.
I don't look at my race or my gender as a chip on my shoulder. We here to perform and to get this money every day. So that's one way that I got involved with them. So the way that I got involved with my Donnie directly, because I've been to the White House twice.
Okay.
I've taken selfies with him. When I say this, that's why I call him my Donnie. He is just like a wonderful man. He treated us well at the White House.
Right.
We were in.
Now you were there at the White House with whom?
Candace Owens. So Candace, let me tell you, let me make a point,
right.
And then I'm gonna get back to my story.
All right,
Candace has merit. Candace has merit because when Candace got in, Candace didn't close the door behind her. Candace opened the door and said, come on, y'all. Everybody that want to come. We having a meeting and come.
Black,
let me tell you. So I happened to be on Bossup.com in the middle of the night, and they were talking about this Sunken Place Coon Festival that they were having. That was like the headline.
Okay.
And I was like, what is this? So I clicked it, and I saw Ben Carson's face. I said, oh, Ben Carson. this is who I need to go meet to talk about this CHA money.
Right.
So I click it and I saw it was the Black Leadership Summit happening in Washington, D.C. and that they were still accepting people. So I applied to go. They sent me a plane ticket and gave me hotel fare. And then they said, okay, watch your email. You're going to get a very special email. Make sure you reply. So I replied to the email. I looked at the email. It came from the White House. It said, the President of the United States requests your presence in the East Room for the Black Leadership Summit. Please reply. I'm like, whoa. So I reply to the Secret Service. I get out there to D.C., walk into the White House, and walk dead into Ben Carson. Okay. I'm like, Dr. Carson, I'm P. Rae from Chicago. You are exactly who I came to see. So I tell him the same story that I told you all. He says, you are absolutely correct. But this is the issue in Chicago. It's the aldermanic prerogative. The aldermanic prerogative is what, so you are saying, what's the aldermanic prerogative? The aldermanic prerogative gives the alderman gave the alderman the ability to veto any developments in their wards that they did not want.
Right.
That's why the projects were in very strict areas, being not like up in Saginaw and Jefferson Park and all those places,
right,
because those aldermen said no. So he said, once we get rid of that, he said the reason that CHA was able to hold on to that money for so long is because of the aldermanic prerogative. So what we're going to do in this administration, because Chicago is our number one priority in HUD, is to make them get rid of that aldermanic prerogative because it promotes housing discrimination and segregation.
Which is what Lightfoot is trying to do.
That's what she did. Let me get to my point. So
she's got a lot of points.
So yeah. So
that's why we're here.
Story.
No, that's fine. I'm just going to jump in. I'm just
letting her roll.
So I say thank you, Mr. Carson. Thank you, Dr. Carson. So he turned this back. My Donnie comes on stage, gives the best speech I ever heard in my life. Now, the entire press corps is behind us. CNN, BBC, ABC, NBC, everybody. Nobody reported what this man told us. So in 2018, he said, this is your country, okay? Nobody will come before you. I am not going to put any immigrants before you. We're not going to put illegals before you. You all were here the longest, and you deserve the most.
I remember that.
I said, okay. Thank you so much. I came back to Chicago with my chest out. Like, yes, I feel great to be an American. That was October 2018. October 2019, Lori gets elected. Lori, hey, if you're listening. Mayor Lori, excuse me. And she and she says, after she gets elected, the first thing she does is she goes to D.C. to see my Donnie. So she sees Donnie, Ivanka, and Ben Carson.
Well, she lied and told us that she just went to see Ivanka, or at least that's what we were showed, that as if they don't have some sort of relationship. But go on. As host, I'm going to occasionally jump in.
It's your show, Mike Love. Like I said, I'm just honored to be here.
But go on with your story.
So she goes to see them in D.C., comes back, opens the city council for the first time and says, no more aldermanic prerogative. So I'm like, oh my God, this is what Dr. Carson said he was going to do.
Right.
So after that, I'm like, y'all got a cheerleader in Chicago because you kept your word to me. I went out there on business, we handled the business, and we got the results we needed. So now they just announced about 2 weeks ago they're about to start a low-income development over there in Fifth City, spending some of this CHA money because the automatic prerogative is now gone.
So why does Lori Lightfoot, our mayor, pretend like she and Trump are bumping heads? This is something I've been saying the whole time. When the first place she went to was the White House to meet with the Trumps, text messages between her and Trump's son recently leaked that they just having a little personal text. Why does she put on a mask that she and Trump are bumping heads when in reality they're allies?
Because that's a unpopular social thing to do. I can tell you that as the organizer of Black Chicago for Trump. Nobody want to hear you talking about my Donnie, but everybody's on the team. So even when Lori brought the feds here, remember she said that she was going to bring the feds she said she was going to bring the feds here to protect the statues. Remember they were down there throwing at the statue?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So the night before the feds got here, she pulled down every single Columbus statue in the city. Then when the feds arrived, she said, well, now all of the statues are gone, so we're going to let the feds focus on the south and the west sides. Again, the overlay the underplay for the overlay.
Right.
So she always has to cover the work that she's doing with the president. She's never going to say it because she's a politician here in Blue Chicago. But if she was honest about it, she would see that she has many more people on her side because there are many more people who support this president than don't. It's just that people don't want to say it.
Not to mention, it would be a lot harder for her to get voted in as mayor. Our own Maze Jackson is like, she's a Republican. Mm-hmm. She just, posed as a Democrat because they're just probably not going to, or you're going to have a hard time electing a Republican mayor in the city of Chicago.
Right.
So, you know what? This is turning into a really, really, and for the people on the,
I've been watching the chat here on the side, and when we go to break and come back, I'll pull up some of the comments that folks have been saying.
No, we're going to take some calls.
Oh, we're going to take calls. Yeah, we'll take calls.
And one thing that I want to say is that nonpartisan, you just bust in next time.
Right,
Maze.
exactly. He's
Just
trying to talk
bust
to
in.
us through glass. Maze is trying to talk to us through soundproof glass. That doesn't work.
She's nonpartisan.
Right.
She's nonpartisan? All right. This is a fascinating conversation. An absolutely fascinating guest that we have. Her name is P Rae, and she's going to stick around and give us more because there's so much more to talk about. Whoa. And we also want to talk to our listeners as well. And one of the things that I want to say before we take a break is that, as I said at the top of all of this, is this woman is not what you think of when you think of a Trump supporter, when you think of a black woman Trump supporter. Mm-hmm. She knows her stuff. She is very...
If nothing else, she came in here. She is well informed, and she's sitting here, and she's just letting you know. And I gotta respect that. Like I said, I'm just sitting back, like, speak it.
And I knew that when I watched that video that we played. I was like, this, because I fact checked everything that she said in the video, and everything that she said is the truth.
I don't be lying. I got one bad whooping for lying as a child, and I cut that habit out.
872-259-7474 is the number. 872-259-7474. We're going to take you guys.
Put it in the chat right now. So if you're in the chat, I'm going to put the number in there right now. So
we're going to
call in.
We're going to take calls in the 5 o'clock hour. We're going to keep this going. Normally in the 5 we do Bad Boy Throwback Hour.
That's okay.
Yeah, we got good conversation.
And we got the debate tonight too, so we'll ask her about that as well.
A lot to talk about. Can you stick around, P Rae?
I'll hang out with you all for a little while.
All right, look at her. All right, it's Chicagofamous.
WIFTBPN.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at solobeauty.com.
What's up, good people? If you didn't tune in to the last I Said What I Said, here's what you missed. Special thanks to Love McPherson.
And when you talk about object sex, you and objectifying that woman, you glorify pieces of her. And let me tell you something. If you think that doesn't matter, it does. And I'm going to tell you why it matters. I looked at a video and I was looking at these young boys, these teenagers, and they were like, do you like black women or white women? I like white women. I like white women. And first I felt some kind of way. Then you know what happened to me? I started listening to them and they said, why did you like the white women? Because they'll do anything for you. Yeah, the white hoes.
Bitch, you is a hoe. Bitch, you is a hoe.
And I thought pornography has elevated what the white woman will do for you, the objectifying of her. And this is why we don't realize, even in our spaces, the black man is shut down because he doesn't know the power of his seed like the white man knows the power of his seed.
Oh, look, just like milk.
He doesn't realize that you sit up there coming into my neighborhood, objectifying my white women because you say they do it better than your women is a problem. They don't do it to them, but they won't bring that out, and they will not allow you to do that to their women.
I said what I said. Herb 2, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Biggest threat to Illinois citizens from Washington is health care costs and policies. Senior citizens have their Social Security reduced from Medicaid, and some of our senior citizens live off $3 a week for food allowance. Working families are facing bankruptcy over policy and limit and cost. Drug prices require a decision between food and Medicaid. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to federal representation. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington, D.C. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
WIFTVPN. In all my years of radio, I've never seen anything like this.
You're listening to Chicago Famous with Mike Love and Dizz. So hit it.
Chicago Famous, Mike Love, Dizz.
All right.
3 to 6, Monday through Friday on the What's In It for the Black People Media Network.
Hey, look, we got to welcome all the new viewers that have checked out the show for the first time today. A bunch of people have definitely jumped in. This conversation is a hot one. But Chicago Famous is here Monday through Friday via Facebook Live on the What's In It for the Black People Network and on YouTube. You can catch us here every day, Monday through Friday, between 3 and 6 p.m., and we talk just about everything. But we're going to keep the conversation rolling because it's debate night tonight.
Yes.
Donald Trump, Joe Biden. It's going to be interesting. We hope you check it out. And our guest in studio is definitely kicking facts for you.
Yes, P Rae from the west side of Chicago.
The greatest neighborhood, the Austin community.
You are like completely wrapped up in the West Side. I love it. You know what?
Yeah.
It's funny. Before you go on, I remember when me and Mike started doing the Bad Boy Radio thing, and GCI had a reputation at the time where they would never go on the West Side because everything was on the South Side.
Or at least people felt like we never came.
They felt like that. We'd show up every once in a while, but for the most part, it was like, you don't want to go to the West Side. And when me and Mike started doing our thing on the radio, we couldn't wait to go on the West Side. Because like you always said, man, the love that we got on the West Side was 10 times what we got on the South Side. Not to say the South Side was bad, but because a lot of times everything is always on the South Side. Right. The parades on the South Side, the clubs on the South Side, the parks on the South Side. Everything was always on the South Side. Nobody ever came west. And when me and Mike started running out west doing stuff with George at George's Music Room and running up and down Madison and Pulaski and hang out in K-Town, those were some of the best times. In the schools over there, we just had a ball.
Yeah, and you graduated from Whitney Young?
Of course.
Dolphins.
Whitney Young Dolphins.
Shout
I was
out.
there for 6 years, so I went there 7th through 12th grade.
Okay. So shout out to the Dolphins on the feed.
Hey, Dr. Kenner, she's still holding it down over there.
Still holding it down. It's a struggle because now everything is just out and, it's like you're not just dealing with it in school. It's, for the public to see. So everything is kind of playing out. I saw a story come up a couple of weeks ago where they were talking about, some of the kids, now the black kids. Were the black kids a minority at the school when you were there?
We were the majority.
Right. That is not the case at Whitney Young anymore. So, even with a black principal, sometimes the kids feel, and kids are going to, they're going to feel a certain way. But they're going through some growing pains over there on the west side. But, we always wish them well. All right, so let's get back to the conversation. So you are, again, Black Chicago for Trump.
Yes.
One of the things, this is the What's In It for the Black People Network. Mm-hmm. You are a big Trump fan. You are a supporter, I should say. Mm-hmm. What is in it for the black people voting for Donald Trump instead of voting for Joe Biden in this upcoming election?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about my Donnie, and then, I'm going to talk about my Donnie, and then I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about Jim Crow Joe.
Okay.
Jim Crow Joe is a documented liar, plagiarist, and segregationist. He has called the soldiers bastards. He said that he was against school busing because he did not want his children to grow up in a racial jungle. He has plagiarized multiple speeches. Everybody look that up. He does not have any original thoughts. And he's been in government for 47 years. So where we are, let's say, even if we were to take these last 4 years of Trump off and just gave him those 43 years, he was in direct power, including 8 years as a vice president, to get stuff done for us. And he did not. It actually got substantially worse. We lost 70% of our collective wealth when he was vice president of the United States. So if any other reason, we should never, ever, ever give him that type of power ever again in his life. Now, I'll tell you what Donald Trump did. When Omarosa was a mess, but Omarosa was also effective. Omarosa is a HBCU graduate. She graduated from Howard and Central State. When she was there, the HBCU budget was a debatable item in Congress. So when Obama was in office, Obama gutted the HBCU budget, and that caused multiple HBCUs to close. I graduated from Hampton, and I went to Hampton on a full academic scholarship. So HBCU funding is very, very, very important to me. When Omarosa was there, she explained the importance of HBCUs in this country to the president. He took the HBCU budget out of Congress and made it a line item in the White House budget because they can't debate the White House budget. That has to be filled every year. So when he took the HBCU budget and made it a line item in the White House budget, that meant that HBCUs would get automatic funding every year. He took it a step further and made the Senate fund that line item at $250 million minimum for the next 10 years. This is the first time in American history. The first HBCU was opened in 1853, I believe. This is the first time in U.S. history that the U.S. government has fully and permanently funded the historically black colleges.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is all truth. This is all something I fact-checked and looked up. This woman is speaking facts. Why can't people get around, black folks get around, so that is something that is major, but black folks feel like Trump equals racism, that he has brought divisiveness in this country, that white anger, white bitterness equals the MAGA hat.
Well, let me tell you this. I was in Senegal during the election, so I got to watch the election through international press. What caused this racism lie to start coming out is, remember that rally? So there were two rallies that took place. There was a rally that took place in North Carolina, and there was a black man in there that was agitating it, and the police were taking him out in handcuffs.
To lock him up?
And no. Well, they were screaming, lock him up, and then a white man in a cowboy hat punched him in the face as the police had him handcuffed. Right. So that enraged our people, okay? Right. Then the next rally was here in Chicago at the UIC Forum, and it was time to get our lick
that shit.
Yes, we went up there to smack some white folks, okay? Yeah. So that's what created this whole racial tension to be associated with him, along with the media. So one thing that he said to us when we were in the White House is he said, now I get it. The same media that has been demonizing you all for all these years are doing it to me. So I get it. I now understand fake news. I'm sorry that I didn't get it before now, but now I definitely get it. So the media is telling us to be mad. And it's the same media that's telling people around the world that all black women got AIDS. I was in Senegal. A man asked me, he said, is it true that all black women in America got AIDS? I said, no. That's what they tell us about y'all. He said, why would they say that? Our AIDS rate is less than 1%. Why are they lying on us? I said, because this is what they do. You understand? So this media, because he had the audacity to beat Hillary Clinton, and the Clintons have been in power, for years. You have to remember, he was the governor. Then he was the president for 8 years. Then his wife became a senator. Then she became the Secretary of State. Right. So they've had lots of power. They have lots of media relationships. They know how to cultivate the media. And so what has been happening is that there's been a very adversarial message coming from the other side. What they call Auntie Maxine, she ain't kin to me, but Auntie Maxine, if you see Trump supporters, you crowd them out and you tell them they don't belong here. Woo. Girl, don't do that. Don't tell nobody run up on me. okay? Don't tell nobody. I got something in this little Kate Spade purse. Don't run up on me. You know what I'm saying? Don't send people off. But this is what they doing. They trying to tell people that we dumb, we don't know anything, we're elitists, we're racist, we don't love our people. And I love my people. I love my people so much. You know, my guys at work, they used to say, well, you have a good job now. Now you can move out of Austin. I say, I like to cook black-eyed peas with turkey tails. If I move out here with y'all, where am I buy my turkey tails at? And they would just laugh and laugh and laugh. I'm like, I don't want to live around y'all. My mama and daddy were college-educated people who made the choice to live in Austin rather than move to Oak Park because they said it was better for their children to live around their own people and not have to grow up with racism. White water is not wetter. White ice is not colder. This is our country, period. We've been here longer than 90% of the people here. Right. So everything in this country is for us, and my president has said that. But the positive things that he says about us, they never, ever play it. So even if you go on the Black Chicago for Trump page, I have a video of his 2019 speech where he says, Black people, you all built this country. I mean, everybody has something to do with it, but you all did the majority of the work, and it's time for you all to start getting credit. And he just came out with the Platinum Plan. You know what I'm saying? Again, no other president has done this. We have not gotten this type of federal funding since the Freedmen's Bureau during Reconstruction. You know what I'm saying? But they aren't putting this message out. And then when people like me come up and try to speak, then people want to call me coon. They want to, get all aggressive. And I don't have time for that. My goal is not to argue and bicker with anybody. Right. We only need 15% of the black vote to turn Chicago red. So I ain't looking for everybody. As the Honorable Marcus Garvey says, everybody does not need to come. You understand?
Right.
So that's okay if you want to keep on voting for the people who tow down your houses, who give you grants and welfare over economic opportunity, who have told you that you ain't black if you don't continue to support them in their foolishness. If you don't value yourself and your race and your ancestors and your nationality enough to look around and say, this can't be life, then that's on you. I can't convince you of that. But I know that's why they saying he racist.
So, about that Platinum Plan and Trump also promising. So just last week, Trump debuted the Platinum Plan for Black Americans. $250 billion. He promised $13 billion to Puerto Rico to fix Puerto Rico up, to get that up and running. A lot of people feel like these are promises. These are the types of things you promise people when you're trying to run for office, when you're trying to get back in office. So as the president, he's got to do whatever he can to get back in office. A lot of people, when I see them post about the Platinum Plan, they're like, this dude just wants our vote. He promised the wall, and there's no wall.
The wall is down there. Let's go back to that. Let me tell you why black folks should support the wall. My mama told me I need to stop talking about this, but I'm just gonna keep on saying it. Right now, the west side of Chicago is the epicenter of the heroin crisis here in the United States of America.
I looked this up as well. This is true.
Over 90% of the heroin in the United States of America is trafficked off the west side of Chicago.
I looked this up. This is true.
The reason that the Mexican drug cartel chose the west side of Chicago as their American headquarters is because of our proximity to transportation, as I just shared with you all. So I like living out west. Mm-hmm. Because we are a sanctuary city, and the high black male unemployment. So they got people to sell their drugs, nobody getting deported, and we can ship it all throughout the country. So now my neighborhood, the west side, has become, like Jalisco, Mexico. So when he said build that wall, people are like, that's racist, that's racist. I'm like, no, we need to protect the people here on the west side of Chicago. We got dope heads out here now stealing. We got the boys out here shooting at each other from the guns that's been, ran up. Remember, Obama ran them guns?
They've been running guns.
Yeah.
We all know that.
And we all know that. But remember, Obama sent all them guns to Mexico and lost them. I don't have no proof, but I feel it in my heart that some of them guns made it back to the west side. You know what I'm saying? So
I think we all do. I think that's one of the things. Like, what was the question? Like, what is something that you believe is a
conspiracy theory?
Conspiracy theory.
We were talking about that yesterday.
That these guns that come out of nowhere, and when they bust open the freight trains, and it's like the guns out west or out south, like, that seems like that was on purpose.
Of course, this is the United States of America. Nothing is by mistake. We have the most complex minds and military in the world. They run tons of simulations before they implement any plan. So they knew exactly how it was going to happen. But to go back to your question, why don't people believe it? Or why they like, whatever. I'm telling you, it's the media. People reading their timelines all day. You just scrolling, you getting the same message over and over and over again. And now you don't want to think for yourself. And because your timeline has a similar thought, you don't want to be that adversarial thought and get attacked. So then you just go along with it. And you on my page, you see people come at me all day. And I'm just like, oh, well, okay, thank you. Because I love myself. I got high self-esteem. So if you love yourself and you have high self-esteem, it's easier to do intellectual inquiry, to come up with solutions rather than feel like a victim. I can't be no victim in the United States of America. Absolutely not. Now, people can harass me like they talking about oppression. I made a post on my page. I said, to buy into the notion of black oppression is to recognize white superiority, which is rooted in the notion of black inferiority. And ain't nothing inferior about me. Therefore, I can never be oppressed.
Okay, come through.
All right, so this is getting interesting more by the minute. So you want to open up the phone lines with us,
let's
man?
open up the phone lines.
All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to open up the phone lines, and we're going to keep this simple. All we want you to do is state your name and then state your question or your comment, and we're going to keep it moving. Folks. So the number is 872-259-7474. We can't read that.
Y'all gonna have to use.
You see my calculator over here? Okay,
Linda.
It's Linda.
Thank you.
We're gonna go to
Start
Linda
writing
first.
that in like black.
Yeah, go get a big Sharpie.
Go get a Sharpie.
A paintbrush,
right
spray paint or something, because we can't see. I got new glasses and I still can't see.
Nice new glasses.
You like the specs?
Yeah.
There you go. Shout out to Vision Works
too.
All right, let's keep it going. Let's go to the line.
We got Linda on the line.
Linda, are you there? All right, I know
this is Leonard Roy. I don't know.
That's
Leonard.
Okay, this is
Leonard Remix Roy.
Leonard
we know
Roy.
This guy is a freaking Republican. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How you doing? I'm sorry you pushed the wrong button for the caller you wanted, but
no, we got
you.
I'm
in here. You're here, so it's all on you, man.
What's going on? What's on your mind, Leonard?
Well, she has not said, one lie as far as I have heard for her. Some things that were mentioned is the fact that Barack Obama cut the military budget, and he diverted those cut funds to the FNS, right? That's the Food and Sustenance Program, right? That's welfare. We're in Iraq and Afghanistan protecting this great country that we live in, and he's cutting our military funds and giving it to welfare. Really?
All right, man. Thank you for the call.
I come from a military family. My oldest daughter is the first Black American woman in the history of the 101st Airborne Division to receive a Purple Heart for injuries sustained in combat. I'm an Iraq, Afghanistan war veteran. So is my son.
Thank you for your
Then
service.
you've got Joe Biden talking about clap you bastards. Really? Really, Joe? Really, Joe? And for those in Chicago that think, well, I'm living in Georgia and I'm around all of the white folk, the area of Georgia I live in is 97% black. 97% black. I recently discovered I had a white neighbor from a domestic violence situation.
Okay.
And the sister is absolutely right when she talks about we as black people and not traveling, although a lot of us can't afford to travel, but a lot of us do not look at the world from a global perspective.
Right.
And when she say two-bar, that's just like a black person calling someone a Sambo, a coon, a sellout, and whatever. That is what Africans think about us.
Right.
And I've worked hand in hand with Africans in many different countries. I mean, you two guys know, I've been, military since 1987?
Right.
I mean, I'm not anymore. I'm retired and done now. But, you all know that I've been in the military forever, and there's very few people in Chicago that do not know that I am a black Republican. I've always been a black Republican. It's not like I changed and suddenly, Trump's in office, now I'm going to be a Republican. No. There's a video of me in 2015 downtown Chicago saying I'm a Republican, and if I were a Democrat, I would have voted for Chewy opposed to Rahm Emanuel. That video is on YouTube, and it's from December 4th, 2015 in Chicago. So I've always been a Republican. It's not like I jumped on the Trump train, as a lot of black people want to say. No, I've always been a Republican. I never voted for a Democrat.
Indeed. Leonard, thank you for the call, man. We appreciate you sharing your thoughts on what we're talking about today, bro. Thank you so much.
All right, brothers. Hey, y'all keep the show going. Great show, great topics. Keep it going. Inform people.
Yes.
Education on what's going on is what Black America needs.
All right. Thanks for the call, man.
All right.
Let's see who else is calling the line real quick. Let's see who else we got. We're just going to punch it because we can't see the name.
No, he said that's it.
Oh, that's it? All right. We'll give the number out again. 872-259-7474. Slow it down. 872-259-7474.
Yep. We folks up in here. All right. So let's talk about black men. And how do you feel the black man is being treated in the country? Do you feel, one of the things I'm seeing a lot is black women talking about protection or lack of protection from the black man. Do you feel that the black man is failing the black woman?
I'm gonna speak about myself.
That's all we would want.
I live in, like I said, I stay in my family building. And in my family building, on the second floor are my grandmother's cousins from down south, her cousin and her two sons, and they're all adults. And then my daughter and I have an apartment. And then downstairs are my cousin, who's a boy or a man, and my uncle. So I have 4 men in my house. And because I have these 4 men in my house, my life is very easy. Okay, because we all got a role. I grew up with a black daddy in my house. So I've always been protected by black men. When I'm on the west side of Chicago, again, I told you I always feel safe over there because I know it's going to be some black men outside that's going to say, hey, girl, hey, beautiful girl, hold your head up. I don't feel nervous when I'm around them, okay? What I think is the issue between black men and black women is that historically, we have been equal in this country. The black man and the black woman have always had equal access to everything in this country. And that's what makes the black woman very unique as opposed to every other woman in the world, is that we have never been excluded from the workforce and that we actually have more access to white male social spaces than our men.
That is true.
So for that reason, I think that our men, they could be doing better. They could absolutely be doing better. But I think because sometimes we are in spaces where there are no black men, they can't show up. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. So that's one aspect
when
of
you
it.
say show up.
So for instance, let's say like I went to let's say you out in,
because now you're traveling in very white spaces.
That's what I'm saying. I'm in very, very white spaces. So I mean, they've been treating me good. They have been treating me the Patriots have been amazing.
Yeah. How many? I mean, first of all, they love black women, low key.
High key.
Okay, so high key, high key. I don't know if that's connected to slavery or they put you. I don't know. I'm not a white man, so I can't view the world through that.
I told you the Negro is the world's only superstar. So black women, you know how they say that white women are the standard of beauty? It's actually the Negro woman who's the standard of beauty.
Certainly.
So that's why they tan. That's why we have a group that tans to get our color, and then we have a group that bleaches to get our color.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that we are the standard of beauty.
So because black men are not in your spaces, you're not.
So I think too that like this culture that we're in, it's a, for lack of a better word, and I don't want to sound classist, but it's ratchery. You know what I'm saying? It's the ratchery that has really turned off both sexes, because you have women who are let me go back. I want to be careful. I'll talk about it in terms of energy. So there's feminine energy and there's masculine energy. Feminine energy creates, cultivates, nurtures, makes things pleasant, calm, and soft. Masculine energy protects, provides, secures. Now, if there is an imbalance in that, like for instance, they will say like the Black Lives Matter, the protest. I can't stand Black Lives Matter. It is a farce. It is a farce. I've been saying this from the beginning. You on my page.
Right.
Black Lives Matter is only an organization for white liberals to commodify black trauma in order to get funds for the liberal causes.
Yeah, we don't disagree with that, because obviously every time we see Black Lives Matter on anything, it's a bunch of white folks.
Yes, from the suburbs. So when we have those Black Lives Matter protests, who's standing in the front talking the loudest with the megaphones? Black women. And I'm like, go home, girl. Go cook. You know what I'm saying? Go bake you a cake. Go get your nails done. Let the men be men. If this is an issue between black men and white men, male power, it's not our space to stand in front of them like they had the black women the other day. Like, we're going to use the black women as the shield. Nobody's going to cross a black woman. Ew! You a man. Stop standing behind your woman and be a man. So it's a two-pronged issue, because those men are not being masculine and those women are not being feminine. You understand?
You're talking about in those spaces or just in general?
Just in general. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, even in my house on my block, the other night I had some groceries. I had watermelons, all type of stuff. The man across the street from me said, "Hey, Ray, put that down, girl. What you doing carrying all that stuff?" I'm coming. And I know that's how it's going to be for me all the time, no matter where I'm at, no matter what's going on.
You are protected.
It's a man. I'm protected. It's a man that's coming to help and make my life easier.
So why don't your sisters feel that same way? Because they haven't been in their neighborhoods their whole lives?
No, because they aren't. I can't. Nope. Let me be careful. You trying to set me
up? No, I'm not. I'm trying to take you out of your comfort zone because I know sometimes you pundits or growing pundits, you have a lane that you in, and I want you to know that it's going to be people that's going to try to take you out your lane and take you out of your comfort zone to get how you really feel about something, because at the end of the day you got your talking points and you got the things that you're comfortable, but I also want you to know that you're gonna have to step outside of that a little bit, unless you gonna just be Trump and you're gonna be like, motherfucker, this is what we talking about, and that's all we talking about.
No, really, honestly, I think a lot of women did not grow up with fathers. Like my daddy was a daddy, like a real live daddy. I mean, he woke me up every morning. He taught me how to comb my hair out. He taught me how to put on my stockings. He cooked my food, like everything. My parents were married, but my father was the parent that I was closer to. So because I was
Daddy's
closer,
girl. Come through.
Yes, daddy's girl. I used to rub my daddy's feet for him at night. Like that was my main.
I have to holler
man.
at my girls for that.
Yeah, tell him rub your feet. And that was my thing. I would do it gladly. My mother would be like, "Ugh, what you doing touching his feet?" I'm like, "You should be rubbing his feet anyway."
Right.
So that's my guy. So because I grew up with that and I was raised in that space, I know how to interact with men. I do better actually in male spaces because I grew up with a man. Like my cousin, who I told you lives in the building with me. We're only 6 weeks apart, and my grandmother adopted him. So we actually grew up like brother and sister. So all my friends and all his friends, we just a big friend group, but everybody that's the same age. Right. So I always been with the boys. I always know what to do with the boys. Right now, they're remodeling my house for me for free. They like, we about said, y'all come over, do this work. I like the grill and barbecue for y'all if y'all do it for me. They like, sure, that's all you got to say. You know what I'm saying? This is how I interact with men. Right. But you got to be raised to be that way. If you were not raised in a space where you were protected in a non-sexual way by men, it's a very different exchange.
All
So
right.
I think that's the issue.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and pay a few bills real quick. We're going to come back, hang out for a few more minutes because I
hang out
definitely
with
want to
us.
come back and talk about some issues that I've seen on the board already. One of them being Donald Trump and police brutality. So we definitely want to get your opinion on that.
And we want to talk about your fish fry that you have coming up and who's going to be there as well. So she's going to hang out with us for the rest of the show.
So hit us up, hit the chat in there. Don't forget, share this video, share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook. We are Chicago Famous.
P Rae in the house.
Thank you.
We are Chicago Famous.
Introducing your
Killing it,
for
girl.
high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
What's up, good people? If you didn't tune in to the last I Said What I Said, here's what you missed. Special thanks to Love McPherson.
And when you talk about object sex, you and objectifying that woman, you glorify pieces of her. And let me tell you something. If you think that doesn't matter, it does. And I'm going to tell you why it matters. I looked at a video and I was looking at these young boys, these teenagers, and they were like, do you like black women or white women? I like white women. I like white women. And first I felt some kind of way. Then you know what happened to me? I started listening to them and they said, why did you like the white women? Because they'll do anything for you. Yeah, the white hoes.
Bitch, you is a hoe. Bitch, you is a hoe.
And I thought pornography has elevated what the white woman will do for you, the objectifying of her. And this is why we don't realize, even in our spaces, the black man is shut down because he doesn't know the power of his seed like the white man knows the power of his seed.
Oh, look, just like milk.
He doesn't realize that you sit up there coming into my neighborhood, objectifying my white women because you say they do it better than your women is a problem. They don't do it to them, but they won't bring that out, and they will not allow you to do that to their women.
I said what I said. Herb 2, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Funeral expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
When you need vibrant, colorful gear that offers high-performance material that keeps you cool, call Agent Huff Custom Gear. Let us take your expressions and create something new for your everyday wear, your bedroom, or bath. For all your needs, we offer custom sublimation, silkscreen, vinyl, and embroidery. You can reach us on all things social at Superhero Huff. www.superherohuff.com or 630-476-9191.
WIFTVPN.
In all my years of radio, I've never seen anything like this.
You're listening to Chicago Famous with Mike Love and Dizz.
Hey, so hit it.
Come on.
I'm gonna make it real funky for you. Chicago Famous, Mike Love, Dizz on the What's in It for the Black People Media Network. We are back. Mike Love, Dizz with P Rae. And normally we just have our guests hang out for an hour. She got here 4:30, normally 4:30 to 5:30, but it's so compelling. And it's not just because of the numbers, because we killing it with the numbers. That's what's up as well. But Dizz, like, she's really, I don't know. She's just bringing an energy.
It's a very interesting conversation. and she's bringing up a lot of facts, a lot of energy, a lot of good points, and that's what we love here on Chicago Famous. And some people agree, and some people don't agree, and that's good. Some people you can agree to disagree. We all have an opinion, and we put it out here on the table, and we definitely let everybody speak their mind. And that's what's great about Chicago Famous, because me and Mike, we're neutrals in this. So, we like to see what everybody's talking about.
We are the media, but the neutral media, the old school media.
So with that being said, P. Rae, I'm going to throw a couple things to you here, and I'm just going to make them really simple and get your opinions on it, because a lot of people have been talking about Donald Trump and his reaction to police brutality when it comes to African Americans. So where do you stand? That's your Donnie.
Donnie.
Where do you stand on that?
People don't know that my Donnie signed a police reform executive order. So after what's the man's name? George Floyd had that unfortunate incident. He went to the Oval Office and signed a police reform executive order, banning chokeholds. I mean, it was just, I don't want to speak ignorantly on it, but everybody who's listening to me, look up Donald Trump's response in the executive order for police reform in this country. Okay, so he has directly addressed that. Now, what the issue is that, I want to preface this by, I live out west. Okay, I've only lived on the west side of Chicago. We know that there's a criminal element here in this United States of America, okay? Right. A lot of times we get caught up in these police brutality issues, and these are people who are out there committing crimes, terrorizing the neighborhoods, okay? For instance, Jacob Blake, I don't know if people know the whole story, but what happened is Jacob Blake went to his baby mama's house. Her name is Ree. It's the hashtag Justice for Ree, R-I. Click it, everybody, Justice for Ree. He went to his baby mama house, beat her up, stuck his hands inside her body, pulled them out, smelled them, told her that she smelled like she had been with other men, and proceeded to beat her some more while their baby was in the bed. She rightfully called the police, got him locked up, got a restraining order on him. He came back to her house, talking about, I want my friend. She called the police again, and then the police came. So they tried to get him to leave. He fighting the police, carrying on. They tased that man 3 times. He did not respond, and then he caught that lead to his back. Okay, right. So we look at that and we say that's police brutality, but no, you were there completely out of order. That is the lawlessness that we have to address when we talk about police brutality, because the lawlessness that's happening out here is completely out of control. And I tell people this all the time. When we talk about police brutality, I want to talk about Amarie Jones, the 13-year-old who got shot in her living room doing a TikTok dance 75 yards from my house. They bought their house in 1980. My grandparents bought their house in 1972. I know the Jones family. I know her grandma, her mama, her brothers and sisters, her aunties, her uncles, her cousins. I heard those gunshots in my house. I was in the shower, and I heard, this is when they was popping all the firecrackers. And I heard, do, do, do. And I was like, what kind of firecrackers are those? And I heard, do, 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 do. I said, oh, somebody just got shot. And then it dawned on me, I said, somebody I know just got shot. So I ran out my shower. I could see the blue lights all on my wall. I go down the street. Her whole family is out there screaming and yelling. My cousin, who stays in my building, got to their house before the police got there. And he said that he was trying to help them up. Somebody had pointed lasers. So 3 kids got shot that day. A 15-year-old boy, a 16-year-old boy, and Amarie. The little boys were on the porch, and they could see red dots on each other. And that's how they knew that somebody was shooting at them. So they started to run out the way, and then the bullets hit them, and then one went through the house and hit Amarie in her neck, and them bullet holes still in them people's window. So it's traumatic for me. So I can only imagine what that's like for them to live in that family house. So to answer your question, I don't want to talk nothing about police brutality and his response to it until we talk about the lawlessness, because the police are not the issue. Every time we call the 15th District Police in Austin, they show up on business. Our police department treats us very well. They do parades, they do cotillions, they do barbecues. We get down with our police out west, and the reason that out west is so cool, that's why we can have fifis, barbecues all night, all that, because the police don't bother us. They understand our culture, and they let us live how we want to live. You understand? So I don't have no problem with the police, and I don't want to get into any spaces and criticize them. Now, we got some bad people on the police department, but the police are not the ones who are killing the kids.
Mm-hmm. Are you so many people that back Donald Trump tend to be back the blue types. Are you a back the blue?
I would say I'm the back the blue because that's not an easy job that they doing. Like I said, they keeping us safe. Every time something goes wrong, somebody break into my garage, or, some man fighting this woman on the street, or, it's some hype, linked over to the side. Who do I call? The 15th district. You understand? So I don't have nothing against these people at all. I have been driving around completely bogus. I mean, bogus. And they like,
we all have. We're
right.
black.
And they like, go home. You know what I'm saying? You knew you was out here bogus when you got in your car. Hurry up and go home. We seen you run them 3 stop signs. Where you going so fast? Like I said, the love over there that we have, not only for our neighbors, but with our police department. Shout out 15th District Police Department, Commander Barbara West, Commander Cato. This is why every time the 15th District commanders always get promoted very rapidly, because their community policing strategies in the 15th District are phenomenal. So,
Okay.
I like them.
So do you think, since Donald Trump has been president, do you think he has ever lied?
Yep, I do. I do think that he has misrepresented the truth. I will say that. I don't think he just makes stuff up off the top of his head. You know what I'm saying? To tell a lie. But I think like with the COVID issue, they say, hey, he lied about COVID and that response. Let me tell y'all something. My grandma died of COVID. Okay? Died. She was 85 years old. Wasn't nothing wrong with her. She got trapped in a nursing home in a germ pit and died. My grandmother was extremely popular. I got a big personality. Her personality is huge. She lived 85 years. Only 10 people could come to her funeral. Okay. Right. So if anybody is affected by COVID, it's me. But what he said with COVID, they said he lied. He said, no, I didn't put it all out there because I didn't want to create panic. We saw the panic. People buying up tissue and going crazy. Imagine if he put all the information out there, how people would have been acting. You know what I'm saying? So some people would say that's a lie. I would say that's a misrepresentation of the truth, because he didn't make it up. He just didn't give it to us straight.
All right, so if I'm your man, I don't tell you I got another woman. Hey, I just misrepresented the truth. I ain't lie to you.
But no, because if I ask you, if I say, Mike, do you got another woman? And you say, no, I don't got another woman. That's a lie. But if you don't tell me,
that's
what
Trump
different.
did. He's like, is this a real problem? And he's like, no, this will be over in a week.
But he did though. Remember, he cut off access to China. Remember, he said no more people come from China. Then they said he was a xenophobe and he was just trying to hate on the Chinese because we owed the Chinese so much money, and that was just a way for him to bring them down. And no, he's trying to do his job and keep people calm. Right. But y'all just, like I said, it's social media. It's these people with these blue check marks by their names putting out all of this emotional garbage, emotionally manipulating my people. And that's what pisses me off the most. Yeah. I hate that my people are being manipulated at this level.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell y'all, I agree with that 100%. And I had a rant Friday where I just talked about how I was not going to get emotionally pulled into these headlines, the things that happen. Let's talk about your event that you got coming up. So, Black Chicago for Trump, you are doing a fish fry.
A fish fry, Friday fish fry. So
with Blago.
You know we love us some Rod Blagojevich. We love us some Rod. So when I went to the White House,
Black folks was like free Blago. Like
we were.
Like we hate to see somebody locked up because we can relate to that. Yes. Somebody unjustly locked up for an extended period of time.
All he did was cuss on the phone.
Black folks, if y'all gonna sit on the timeline and be like, you wasn't like, man, they railroading Blagojevich. Don't lie to yourself. I saw it, and I know how y'all was.
So this event is going on Friday?
It's going to be Friday at a Bucktown mansion. It's 7,000 square feet. It's going to be catered by world-renowned chef Sofia Diaz. She wrote a book. It's on Amazon. It's called Sabio, A Cultural Experience. So it's going to be a gourmet fish fry. Instead of catfish, we're going to have swordfish, salmon, tilapia, and cod cooked up in her special way. Some really good pasta, coleslaw, peach cobbler, and Patriot Punch. I'm mixing it up myself. I went to a black school so I can mix a drink. Okay. So we're going to have that. So Rod Blagojevich is coming because you know that my Donnie let him out.
and our people love Rod Blagojevich. So I'm sure that he has.
He's going to be there in person, or he's going to be there
in person.
Okay, because everything so much nowadays is virtual.
No,
I'm thinking you got Blagojevich virtually, like you're going to be on the big
screen. I'm taking there's going to be like social distancing where you have to wear a mask if you're there.
If you want to, you can wear a mask. We'll have them at the door, but I'm not going to force you. Again, the home is so big, so you should be able to get around. And Dr. Willie Wilson has confirmed.
Okay.
We have Devin Jones, who's the 18th Ward Republican committeeman. He's coming. Another Black Republican here in the city. We have the Will County Republican Chair, Mr. George Pearson. He may make an appearance. And then we have a very special surprise that's coming to us via Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can they give more information about that?
If you go to the Black Chicago for Trump page, that's Black Chicago, the number 4 Trump, all one word. It's a Facebook page. It's my Donnie in a Coochie sweater counting money. So that's how you know it's us. Yes, I'm telling you.
Y'all didn't Photoshop Don?
I just looked up pictures of Donald Trump, and then I saw that one. I'm like, what better picture for Black Chicago for Trump other than Trump in a Coochie?
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's us. You can also email us. So the Eventbrite is there, but you can also email us at emancipatedAmericans@gmail.com. emancipatedAmericans@gmail.com. And then we'll send you out an Evite. It's $50. Again, it includes food and mingling. And we are going to really have a good time. I'm really positive about this because, again, there are more people who are on our team than aren't on our team. And the people who speak the loudest against us are people that we're not even looking for anyway.
Have you, now, other than people interacting with the page, Facebook is obviously, worldwide. Are you getting the Black Chicagoan support, or is it just more support from people around the country?
I would say a little bit of both. Okay. So a lot of people are curious, especially the white patriots. White patriots always want to come into Black spaces and try to think for us and tell us what to do. So initially I thought that this is just what white liberals do, but this is what white people do. They come into our spaces and they just want to make sure that we're not, like if we bring up reparations, oh my God, you want to piss off a white conservative, bring up some reparations, and they gonna tell you how they feel. And I'm like, hey, this is a conversation between the Negro and the U.S. government. We were talking about this way before you got off the boat at Ellis Island, okay? So be quiet, just like you're quiet about that $131 billion of Israeli funding that we give them. I want you to have that same apathy when it comes to speaking about my check. Shut your mouth. So I say that to say they're there, but they're really nice. They're really, 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 really nice. Not all of them. So we have the white patriots who are there, who are curious. Then we have Black people from around the country. So when Candace had this event, Be a Black Leadership Summit, it was Black folks from everywhere. Harlem, Compton, Miami, itty bitty Mississippi, me from Chicago, Kansas City, every little hood and ghetto all over the country was represented in this room. So we support each other on our platforms. And then we have Black Chicago. Now, a lot of people don't want to like the page in Black Chicago because you could see who liked the page. Right. And then nobody want to go on record as being a Trump supporter. So even with my event, people are like, I want to come, but I don't want my name on no list.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, I want to come, but I don't want my name on. I'm like, well, your contribution goes to the Wells Washington Douglas Society. It's not going to go on the list as you giving a contribution to the Trump campaign. So come check us out.
And that's Douglas with 2 S's.
Douglas with 2
like
S's, as in Frederick S. on the west side. We got rid of Douglas with the slave owner and threw another S on it for the emancipated man.
And that's, I think, the dopest thing about you is that, and that's what I was just tying in with this whole thing, is that you're black. Like, you're not Candace Owens black. Like, you black, like you are for the Black people black.
Yes.
Like, you are from a Black neighborhood. You live in a Black neighborhood. You got a Black daughter sitting next to you. And everything that you talk about, everything that you're pushing is for Black people to be better.
Yes.
Not for it seems like when people see this, like when people see Candace Owens speaking out against reparations.
Mm-hmm.
It seems, here they go. They always find one. And it's like your voice, though, you're not like, you said Candace is your girl, but you think and move differently from that.
So what people have to understand about Candace, again, Candace took me to the White House twice. Okay, she pregnant. I'm about to send her a baby shower gift. Like, I have nothing but respect for this woman. But Candace is a second-generation American. She identifies as Caribbean. So when she and Cardi B were having their argument, I said, "Oh, these two island girls fighting. I don't care. They're not tribe. Let them."
Right, but they was both your girl.
But
I
know.
had to message you
because that's why I was quiet. Because I love me some Cardi.
Love Cardi,
and I love me some Candace. Yes, I do love Belle Khalice. Go girl.
Right.
So yes, I like them both, but we have to remember that when we have these people speaking on our behalf, we have to ask ourselves if they are a member of our tribe, if they are Negro, if they are emancipated, if they are ADOS, whatever we're calling ourselves now. If you were if you are a 13th Amendment black person in this country, then speak for me. 3/5. Well, let me tell you what I learned last night about 3/5. 3/5 was actually an anti-slavery move. So what the Northerners did is they told the Southerners, we're only going to count your slaves as 3/5 of a person. Now, if you free them, then they will be counted as whole people, and then you all will get more representation in the Congress. But when the liberals tell that story to us, they tell that like, they just didn't think of you as a full person. They just thought that you were 3/5 a human. No, that was the way for us to be free, and they used the legislature to push that.
Got it. You got anything else, man?
Man, I'm just sitting here soaking it in.
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope.
P Rae giving it to you. So, yeah.
Thank you.
We definitely got to make you a part. I like your energy. We've been Facebook friends.
I was good till Cardi B came around, and I was like, well,
you know what?
Cardi.
I support
women. Is Cardi black?
Cardi technically is black.
Okay.
So Cardi, let me tell you, let's put it in perspective. Cardi is Trinidadian, and so is Nicki Minaj. I always think they should get together and do a Trini Girl song. You know what I'm saying? They from the same island, but they can't stand each other. Then Cardi is Dominican, so Dominicans like to lie and say that they're not black. You want to make a Dominican mad, call them black. They're going to say, no, we are Indians. We are not black. Right. So that's why she does not say I'm a black woman, but she's Dominican and Trinidadian, black and Mo black. She just light skin.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so once again, if people want to find out more information on your event, where do they go?
Black Chicago for Trump. That's our page, or email us at emancipatedAmericans with an S @gmail.com. emancipatedAmericans@gmail.com. It's going to be a safe event. We've already told Antifa this is not the event you want to come clown at. You come, we got some waiting for you. So they not coming. We're going to have a good time. We're going to eat. We're going to wobble. We're going to drink. We're going to eat our fish.
Did you find a DJ?
We figured it out. Yeah.
Okay. She hit me.
Mike?
She hit me. I was like,
I said, Mike, can you do my event? He said, nah, baby.
I was like, you need to find somebody that's more, because first of all, staying neutral, and I think DJing a Black Chicago for Trump event, I think is a dope idea. And it definitely opens us, Mike Love and Dizz, up to a new world.
Right.
And I think that those worlds are worlds we need to open up to. Like, I don't give a fuck about pissing people off. Like, I do not. I'm still going to be Mike Love, and people are still going to support because they know where my heart is. So my heart is I'm not sharing my political leanings. I'm not for Trump or against Trump or for Biden or against Biden. I think I go on record and say that I think Donald Trump is the funniest president we've ever had. Mm-hmm. That motherfucker cracks me up.
And
I think that
I will agree with that.
And I think that people that hate him cannot get past that hate. Like, I literally want to take a Trump speech, and I'm going to one day, and put a laugh track underneath it, because I want people to see how much this motherfucker is a comedian.
Well, let me tell you this. Remember All in the Family with Archie Bunker?
Yeah.
He Archie. He's literally
Really?
Archie.
And we talked
They're
about
both
that show already.
old white men from Queens. So culturally, they are the same. If you can watch All in the Family and laugh at Archie, you can look at Donald Trump and get that same energy.
That's a very good way to put it. I never thought of him that way, and you're absolutely right. An old school bigot.
Right. The old school bigot. We were talking about that like
racist.
nobody uses the word. Yeah,
He ain't
racist. Racist is the word now. Everybody wants to throw that race card out on everybody. He's just an old bigot.
Yeah.
Right. That's what Archie Bunker was.
He was
a
an
bigot.
old bigot.
P. Rae, thank you for stopping up. I guess, if things continue to work and you start
So where are you watching the debate from tonight?
I am going to go to The Answer, 590 a.m. They're a conservative station. We're
All right.
going to watch it at Chicago Chop Steakhouse in Schaumburg.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be at Club Crib checking it out.
Yeah, we all will. Keep rubbing elbows with the people, man. And like I said, I'll be reaching out to you and getting you involved with the show. Like I said, I like your energy, regardless of what people think. And it's your views that women, we said this during the break, men are logical, women are emotional. The most emotional people on this feed are women because they cannot get past their disdain for Donald Trump. That's what they believe. That's what they feel. They cannot get past that. If people, then the guys, for the most part, are locked into the things that you said that are the truth. Like, you have not come up here and given half truths or lies or anything. You've come down and you've broken it down and you talked about your life from Chicago all the way to what's going on in the government. And those things are the truth. And if people want to deny the facts, then that's just what you got to do. So, again, we've been Facebook friends forever. I'm glad you could come up. I'm glad we could, iron out whatever little issues that we have behind the scenes. And, let's get to know people. Let's start on a good foot and, let's get you to do some things with us because, again, you got good energy. I was talking about Nuisance one time. I think I saw Nuisance in a towel coat or something.
Mm-hmm.
She tagged Nuisance. I wasn't even friends with Nuisance. And she tagged it like, Mike Love over here talking about you. I'm like,
North Lawndale, look out now.
West Side people stick together.
I'm like, that's Nuisance. They're my people. Man. I think I had posted she had an actual towel coat on during at a concert. She brought them back.
She produces them and sells them.
Yes, she does. So, P. Rae, thank you for stopping up on Chicago Famous. Shout out to the guy who we don't know his name.
Dude. Right.
What's up, bro?
We can't hear you.
We're going to introduce ourselves after we.
We'll have to get that together.
Yeah,
but we definitely got to thank everybody who tuned in for the first time today. Man, big numbers rolling all the way through the afternoon. So we appreciate all of you out there sharing the video.
Thank you.
If you didn't catch it from when we first started, go back, rewatch it. We start the show at 3 o'clock, so it's 3 hours in full. We kicked it off with P. Rae around 4:30 or so. So halfway into the show, we sat down with her and started chopping up the conversation. So go back, check it out, leave your comments, check it on YouTube or Facebook. Just tell your people to put in Chicago Famous in the search bar in YouTube or Facebook, and we'll pop up and let us know what you think.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Shout out to Sonia Escobar, who's over there, on the low. Shout out to Maze Jackson. And shout out to the entire What's in It for the Black People Media Network. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow, 3 to 6. Y'all have a good one. It's Chicago Famous.
Watch the debate tonight.
WIFTV PM.